You're gonna what?
I'm gonna click. Oh,
Max is like, I beg your pardon.
I'm gonna click on you. Allie.
Allie, no. Don't click on me.
Did you add anything to the screen from last time?
You will see a very big difference from last time.
So
I'm
this
looking
changes.
at it right now. I'm like, whoa.
This changes every single time. So it's oh my god, is that the lady from?
Sure is. That's Miss Thick Thighs herself.
Max, bless his heart, remembers. Oh my god. So I do notice the sucker for love lady. So Van, there is, I don't know what's going on, but I have played.
I never know what's going on. So.
Me neither. But especially during any games where I need to romance people, I have played Hooked on You, and I played Sucker for Love, a previous version, and this new one. Love, right? I'm gonna tell you something, Van. I get 0 smooches. Nobody ever smooches me. In Hooked on You, that Dead by Daylight dating simulator, I got led to the basement by the spirit, and I was like, all right, here we go, right? And then it's gonna happen. We sit down. I'm like, and then she's just like, I'm gonna go back now, and I'm like, what? But Max, he gets all the smooches. He hooked up with every single character in Dead by Daylight.
I don't know what I'm smooches right now.
Apparently, I just roll high in charisma on all dating sims.
Yeah.
I want like a real horror dating sim. I want to date. If you can date Van like one horror character, who would it be? Like romance one, not like a what do they call it? A bang and fuck, a fucking dump. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
one night stand. Why can't I think?
You know what? One night stand is now called Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
It's canon now. This is a canon event.
Yeah, I'll be the president of the United States for 5 minutes, and enact that. It's called Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am. Hands down.
Listen to you, El Presidente.
Van for president 2028.
Yeah, president.
Absolutely.
But mine for sure would be Bruce Campbell. Ash Williams from Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That voice, Hail to the King.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, we could eat steak. I know he loves steak.
Yeah. I mean, sign me up. I'll be there. Although I feel like if I had to absolutely pick one, and this is so exceptionally hard for me to say it, I don't want to be cliche. I'm gonna have to say Michael Myers, because he is the strong, silent type, and he's big, tall man. So
climb like a tree, and you don't have to hear him whining.
Just sit on his back like a little backpack, just like a koala.
Sit on his face. I was just like, yep, let's
do this. And guess what?
Like a back.
He won't ever complain because he doesn't talk.
Never. I mean, that's a great answer. I actually, in my head, when you were like, this is cliche, in my head I said, Pyramid Head. Because everyone's like, Daddy.
Yeah. No, I just don't think I can do, like, I'd be scared it would fall on me. Like, the pyramid head would just fall off, and then I'd get crushed.
Oh, okay.
Safety in mind.
I do like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I know he's got, like, a hammer. And right, does he carry around a hammer?
Oh, it's a giant sword.
Big ass sword. A big ass sword. Yeah.
A big ass sword. I think he would be super gentle. I think that he would know about that he's heavy-headed, and he would just be like, "Listen, I'll just lie, I'll just lay, and you just you do whatever you need to do." And you're just like, thank you, Daddy Pyramid Head. And then he would pick you up after you're done, and he would gently put you down in the bath and go make you cookies. That's the pyramid head I want.
Oh, I'm here for this.
There's
How
just
about you,
something
Max?
about the phrase heavy-headed that makes me laugh for no reason. I don't know why, but it's fucking
It's like heavy
great.
metal, but the instrument is just like you being like, I don't know.
What the fuck
I don't
was
know what
that?
was. It wasn't on camera, which was great.
You look like you just had like a really weird muscle spasm.
Yeah, I just like shit right in my seat. Sorry about that.
Oh my god. I
What's
love it.
yours, Max?
Yes, do tell.
Max, the master of dating
So-
sims, the all-time lover.
Yeah.
So are we talking specifically only horror movies? Or just horror
Shows?
media and horror?
You could say Rick Grimes, you know, like you could say.
I don't know who that is. Oh, he's the dude from The Walking Dead. Okay, never mind. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but like shows, like yeah, anything you want. There's no rules here.
Ooh,
Alright.
this is a tough question.
Oh god, I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Waiting in anticipation.
I'm like really thinking about this.
What about like horror games too? Like, are you
Horror
like
games?
are you like like do you love like Leon Kennedy
Oh, fuck
or
no.
what about like Norman Reedus from Death Standing
Death Standing?
or the guys
Death Stranding, Allie?
I mean, all you do in that game is just walk and stand around. So Death Standing is.
I mean,
title.
fair.
Death Standing sounds like a simulator. You just sit around, you wait, and then when someone dies, you're like, "Hey,
Don't do that."
come with me." You're like the Reaper. Like, come, get over here.
If,
You have a New York accent too. Hey.
if we're going by video games, probably Jill Valentine.
Jill Valentine.
Yeah, or
She's-
Claire Redfield. Either one.
Jill
I-
gives me more.
I
feel
mean,
like
yeah,
she would
Jill's
kick
more
my
badass,
ass.
but Claire, I feel like, is more like thinks more. Like she's more like able to like think on her feet more, whereas Jill kind of like just rushes into situations. I feel like.
I love the analysis. I love
A
it
lot
so
of
much.
thought went into that.
yeah.
I love man. What did you say before? You're like that's what did you say about Jill? Like she's a lot, or
I feel like she would kick my ass.
Well,
she would
yeah.
kick your ass. And I feel like you don't want your ass kicked. You just want a silent,
Yeah.
you know, tall tree that you could
I
climb.
just want a giant redwood. Just not say anything. And I can be a backpack for 20 minutes and call it a day. That's all.
Fair enough.
Incredible. My back is sweating. It's fucking incredible.
I love that.
What a giant redwood! Oh fuck, that's so good. Speaking of wood, I see wood on the side with Bruce Campbell. That was from last time.
Yeah.
What else on here did you?
Oh, so
Did you have the steroids in the strong milk?
no, that was
before?
new. That was new.
So
so
I make a protein shake and it's white and I feel like I have to explain it. I don't know why I do, but I feel like I have to explain that I'm not drinking a cup of milk. It's a
'Cause
protein shake.
You're drinking a cup of a thick white substance.
Yeah, and I
okay,
don't
so
I don't
the
know why I feel like I have to explain.
So the joke that we have is Allie doesn't drink milk. She drinks milk, and only because it's not it's not milk. It's like what do you say? Oat milk? What do you use?
Oat milk and protein.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
powder.
not.
Yeah.
So oat milk isn't milk. It's
Nut milk.
It's so dumb. But I felt so insecure thinking everyone was watching me drink this thick ass fucking milk on stream. And I'm like, guys, it's not milk. It's just milk.
Protein.
And then Max started calling it strong milk, and now that's
Yeah.
That's what it is. And now apparently there's a needle sticking out of my arm. So
Oh.
Yeah, because last time Allie made a joke about steroids, and I was like, oh yeah, they go in your milk.
they go in my mouth. That's what makes me strong.
On your milk.
Yeah. I fucking love it.
Oh, and Allie, the thing that that Lynetta, the chaos, the demon is sitting on his moss. It's representing the mossy clip.
The fuck did you just say to me?
Look, if you look at the
I
starting
heard-
tune screen, there's
I heard
moss.
Bayonetta. Is there anything of them
Lynetta
like
is
that?
the sexy lady from the sexy game.
From the sexy game, Lynetta, and she's sitting on moss. Was that to mock the way I say moss?
Moss? Oh, boy.
I couldn't think of what the game was called, and that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Wait, I have a question. Is the moss moist?
When she's sitting on it, it is.
I know, right?
Oh god, I'm sweating. It hurts so much.
Schwitzing.
I'm from like the heart of New York. So I grew up on Long Island, and I grew up on like the South Shore of Long Island, FaceTime, and and where I lived in East Quogue, it's where like all the Brooklyn settlers came. So me and my East Quogians, my friends there, all developed what is called a diphthong. And this diphthong is when you put like two vowels together like this. I don't know. So you're like, I walk my dog to the mall for coffee and sausages, and my best friend Paul. And it's disgusting. And one of the words I have a hard time saying is moss.
Yeah, I can understand. I'm from PA, so I get a lot of.
Oh shit! You're so close to me.
I get a lot of, especially where I work, like Jersey people, New York people. We'll get the Staten Island people, and I'm just like, okay. And I have this weird. It comes out every now and again. My family from Pittsburgh, born and bred. And occasionally I'll get this weird Pittsburghian, Pennsylvanian, like central Jersey thing that just happens, and it's random. And it's usually whenever I'm like super mad. Or if like, one of my customers is having like a dick measuring contest, like trying to be mean, I'll whip it out. And they'll be like, whoa, okay. I'll be like, yeah.
My cock is much bigger than yours.
Just smack it right on the counter, like, what now?
I love when someone comes into like my stream and they'll be like, your accent, where are you from? And I'm like, guess. And they always go, New Jersey. It's either New Jersey, Boston, or like the third one will be New York. So I always try to go like, if I was from New Jersey, I would kind of sound like this, right? I would talk a little bit like this. My intonations would be a little bit higher, still talk with my hands. But if I was from Boston, I would, exaggerate, pop my car, gonna go to Pepperidge Farm, hotta. Yeah, the long A's, yeah. And then New York is just like, hey. like it's I'm walking here. Like, get the fuck out of my way. Like, it's loud, it's obnoxious.
Sometimes threatening. No,
threatening. But not everyone sounds like this. As like New York's so big. Like whenever I say like, I'm from New York, everyone assumes it's New York City. Which I'm close to New York City, but not there. And then like we have like one of our teammates, Crimmy, she lives in Buffalo, New York. And it's like a whole different world there, and like a whole different accent. She's got flat A's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love this. It's like two fucking just melding together.
I love it. I'm here for it. I'm sensing the whaz from my computer. So again, sorry if you're hearing it.
No, I don't hear it at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
That makes me
Discord is
happy.
surprisingly like good about its suppression and whatnot. So
That makes me feel slightly better. If you see my eye twitching, it's just because I'm hearing it too.
That's the signal that it's on. You're like, love it.
God, I love it. Oh,
yeah.
This is great.
Welcome back to
Okay.
Scary
Do
for her
intros?
pleasure, where Scary's getting pleasure, and after 10,000 years, we finally have the person we wanted on. I'm Max.
I'm Allie.
And our special guest this month is Van. Sorry,
Oh,
I've
good.
been
Van is
real
at the
excited.
bottom for you too. I'm looking on your screen. I'm just like,
Yay.
it's Van. Pointing down. It's Max.
Just point at the wrong people. Oh,
Welcome in, Van. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited. Like, everyone's so excited too. I'm like peeking over at chat. Diana's like,
well, like I said, I'm just so honored to be here after 80,000 years of trying and trying to get the time, and I've been really looking forward to this for a really long time, and I'm so honored to be here.
happy to have you here. I know, like Max, like for like weeks, just been like Van. It's like no guests until Van. Van's number one. Van's number one. I'm like, and then like last week, it's like we got Van. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. I'm here for it.
Max, before I attack her, because I want to ask her a couple of questions like right off the bat.
Oh boy.
I don't want to take up if you
No, I'm good.
Do you have
can
anything to
just
say
take
at
over. I'm
first?
good.
Oh, because it's such a stupid thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you do voice acting.
I do.
Do I like? Okay, so I wanna get into voice acting. I would love to try it, and every time I go to like try it out, I end up chickening out because I think that my voice just sounds like pizza, and no one will like me. What is like when you do voice acting, like when you get a part for something, like how do you know like what voice to use, like how to like change your voice up? Because I think that like when I think about changing my voice up, I'm like, oh, it just sounds like another version of pizza.
I had pizza for lunch, so you're making me want more pizza. So, so that's a really good question. So as far as changing the voice sometimes, and I tell people who are new or are getting into it or are thinking about it, you don't always focus on changing your voice. It's more or less about portraying an emotion or trying to get something through. So, if you are, I'll give you an example because this is one I can speak about. The first voice acting thing I ever did was for a game called The Bunny Man. That I think it came out last year.
It sure did.
A game.
Yeah. It came out last year, and they were like, okay, so you are a girl and you are pregnant. And I'm like, okay, what else? And I'm like, do you need me to pitch my voice up, pitch my voice down? Do you need an accent? And they're like, nope, we want you to convey, this is what we want you to convey, that you're this sweet human being and you are missing and all you care about is your baby and your husband. And that's exactly what I did. And it was literally the same voice I'm using to speak now. It was slightly pitched up because she was very young. She was supposed to be like 23, 24. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you did it. That's exactly what we wanted. And I'm like, okay. And
Nice.
the voice part, I feel like comes later because once you get the acting part down of voice acting, the voices will come to you. Like my favorite voice to do was just Roz from Monsters Inc. And I would do it for everything because I would try as like a warm up, but it hurt so much just because it would like rattle my sinuses.
So like Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. Yeah. Don't let it happen again. Like, and it it just kind of comes to you, and then you're like, ooh, I like that one, I'm going to back pocket that, I'll need that. But I always tell people, just really focus on just conveying that emotion first. The voices themselves will come later.
Would a person who's casting for a voice actor, actress, would they, if you gave them your audition and they were like, oh, we really liked your acting, but could you do this again with a higher pitch or this kind of accent? Do they ever come back and like ask you for that?
Sometimes, because I know each voice is very unique, and it takes a lot for people to fall in love with their own voice. And that's like
my struggle. That's my struggle in life. I hate my voice so much. I'm like, go away.
No. And it's that, and I sometimes post about it on Twitter, and I swear it's those posts that get the most engagement for it, because it's just really learning to love what you have, but learning to work with what you have. And again, by no means am I a professional. By no means am I, super skilled and have years and years and years of experience, but I'm just somebody who's really passionate about it. And what I've noticed being a casting director myself and also working with casting directors, that does sometimes happen. And they'll be like, look, we loved your delivery. We loved this. Your intonation was great. However, can you pitch it up a little bit, or can you pitch it down? Can you sound like you're sick? You've just been shot through the midsection with an arrow. You're dying. So like, can you make it sound more breathy? And they'll give you those directions. And usually that's like a second or third audition. Some instances, depending on the timeline of the game too, they will kind of roll with that first or second take. But I always tell people to have your first take, focus on your acting. And then if you want to have fun, if you're like, yep, I got it in this one, whip out, the pizzazz or whatever you want to call it in that second take, just to try something new.
And you said that Buddy Man was the first game you did?
First. Yeah.
Did they reach out, or did they see on Twitter, like casting? How did you get involved with that?
It happened really fast, and I was like, ugh. By the time I realized what was happening, I think it was just they just needed a female voice, and I'm like, hey, look, like I hate my voice. Like, I'll read it for you if this is what you need. Your demo's coming out soon. I'll read for you if you want me to, because I was a tester on their game, and they found me on Twitter, and they're like, oh, how about you're Sam now? I'm like, okay, I'm Sam now. Thank you. So then I read it and I cried when I heard it's the very introductory scene as the game is starting, and it's kind of like you're in the car and you're listening to this tape, because I think it was like the 60s or 70s is when it took place, and you're listening to this tape of your wife who's missing, and you're just trying to find her. And I was just sobbing when I listened to it, because I was like, oh my God, that's me. And it was very surreal. I still sob. Like,
that must feel, I'm like getting like a little like emotional. Like that must be like a really cool moment. Yeah. And did you know that you were going to be right at the beginning?
No. All I knew was that they're like, so it's a tape, and then it's going to be played in a middle section, and then this, that, and the third, and you'll hear it. It's great. And I'm like, okay. So
yeah, sounds good. I'm
And then the rest of it was a lot of screaming and a lot of yelling, and I learned I can't scream because I just sound like a man trying to pass like a giant just deuce, and because I'm like instead of like the high pitched scream. So I got one, and they just rolled with that one. So that's the one that's in the game.
Can I tell you that scream? And maybe Max will agree with me with this one. That scream sounded just like a Papa Cabo scream. At the beginning of Murder House, when the bunny first comes at you, the scream that the kid makes sounds just like that. You did it. I was just like, that's a Papa Cabo scream, and I love that because that's one of my favorite dub companies. You got a listen. If like voice acting doesn't ever work out, you have a future as a metal vocalist. So
There we go. Yeah. Learn that from Gravedigger.
I'm curious to know, 'cause I'm not sure if I've played any games that you have done voice acting on. What other games have you done voice acting?
So hold on. There's been a bunch. I'm gonna have my list.
That's awesome. I should have been better. Wait, what'd you say?
Some are not out yet, so I don't want to say one that's like
Okay.
either has a demo out. So just because I don't want to get in trouble.
No, of course. I thought you said summer. I was like summer of 58.
Oh my god!
And I was like,
I would love
put me in your games.
I would love to do like a puppet combo or like the Brian mortuary assistant.
Oh.
I would kill to be just a fart sound in one of those games. I don't care. Yeah. There you go. That's me. I did that. Like that'd be great.
Trying to say fart Vandra.
Yeah. Fart by Van. It'd be great. But some of the games that I was in just the past like year or so, Bunny Man, obviously. There was one called Beautiful Escape Dolls, and it's an itch.io game, and it's so fucked up, but it's so beautiful. The premise is it's very like you have to be 18 to play it. You're essentially taking people apart and putting them back together again and just making them a doll just because you're like, I'm just going to make it's a whole, I couldn't even play through all of it yet because I just didn't have the time because it's pretty lengthy, and it's a continuation of the dev's first game. There was also We Are Not Alone.
Oh yeah. I think I've played that one. That sounds familiar.
So I was the administrator.
Oh shit!
And everyone hated me, and I loved it because I was trying to make her a stone cold bitch. I think I succeeded on that one. There is Gravedigger, of course, from Autogen. Came out. I was the demon sounds. I was the entity sounds, and that's when I learned I can scream like a death metal vocalist. So
you're gonna be the sounds of the demon.
Yeah.
Would they just like make demon sounds? Would we just like in a room just like like what does it even sound like?
Kind of, yeah. And it was just he was so sweet. Like, oh my gosh, every interaction that I've had with Auth and like any of these devs, they're so incredibly sweet and so incredibly humble. He's like, hey, so I need a demon sound. Can you do that? I said, I can try, but pray tell, what do you need? And he's like, well, I'm gonna send you some lines. And I'm thinking it's gonna be like, oh, actual like lines. And it was just the words get out. No, there was just like random screaming sounds and something else. And I'm like, got it.
It's just like keyboard vomit.
Just like that. And I was like, okay, I got this. I can do this. And I'm like, what if it sucks? He's like, it's fine. I'm putting filters on your voice. You're good. Like, you do what you want to do. And so I was literally standing in my closet, which is my booth, and I had my mic right here, and I'm just like, and just sound vomit into the mic, and I was just screaming get out for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, so my neighbors are either gonna think that my house is possessed or someone's gonna call the police on me. And I sent it in, and I couldn't listen back to it because all I heard was just me making weird sounds. And he was like, perfection, I love this is great, beautiful, Angel, you did a great job. I'm like, dang. So I played through it a couple times, and I tried to listen for myself. They're really doctored up to make them sound as scary as possible. But that was another one. Like he was one of the devs that I really, really wanted to work with, and just him even asking me, I just was completely beside myself. And then when I saw my name in the credits, I was like, and I'm a crier. I'm just like, everything.
Oh yeah. Oh, me too. I'm a huge crier. That's why I like you were like when you were talking about like you heard like your voice like right at the beginning, you were getting all emotional. I'm like, I'm feeling that too right now.
And it's so much freaking fun. And then I'm just looking over at my notes. The one that I am the most excited for, it's not out yet. It should be hopefully coming out this year. I don't know if you guys played Ghost at Dawn. It's like an anime detective noir style game by Blue and Red Games. The sequel is called Date with the Night, and I was very surprised that he handed me somebody as amazing as her, but I'm one of the baddies. So one of the villains in there, Miss Mercy. So she's absolutely gorgeous in her little. I love cherry blossom, so he gave her a little cherry blossom dress, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this so much. So I haven't had the chance to work on her yet, but the other one that is hopefully going to be out soon, I did get the okay to talk about this one, is called Road to Hollow Hills. There is a demo out for it right now. It's like RE inspired. You're on a mission, you're trying to find your sister, shit's happening, random stuff's happening, so I do all of the monster work in there. There is over 20 different kinds of monsters in this game, just from what I've counted from the documents that they sent me. And I do all of they're called the dryads. So there's a forest section. So
Yes.
all of those dryads are me. And then there's a lady in a graveyard humming a song, and then there's random screams. All of those are me too. So I think they are uploaded in the demo now.
I don't know if you can tell us, but when I think of dryads, I'm a D&D player.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of woodland, creatures. Is that kind of what the vibe is?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're kind of, they literally come from the forest. Some are really, really fucking badass looking. One has like huge horns. The other one is called Mother Dryad. She is ginormous and has like 3 skull heads, and just there's wood just encasing these skull heads. It's gorgeous. They're absolutely amazing. They're in the demo now if you want to play them. And then there's a secret boss. I forget exactly what she was called, but she has like a staff and like there's like skull head. It's gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous.
That sounds awesome. What is it called again?
They did them justice. Road to Hollow Hills.
Road to Hollow Hills.
Road to Hollow Hills, yes.
Remember that. And when when games come out, that I'm sure you do already, but when games come out that you're doing, voice acting for, make sure that you post all about them in the CEO's Discord, because that's fucking amazing. That's so cool. I am totally like, what's the word? Manifesting a mortuary assistant role for you. Like, they do the things where, like, all of a sudden there's a you got to go through a tunnel, and then you got to collect keys and open mouths. Like, you could do all of the voice work for all that.
Yeah.
All that. Or the girl on the phone be like, Rebecca.
Right? Oh my god. I'd still
be
there. I know he's working on a Paranormal Activity inspired game right now.
Stop.
Yes. So there hasn't been much posted about it, I think, because he can't, but there was a couple tweets that I saw from him. And I'm like, oh my god, it's happening. Like, I love that. The whole movies, minus the last 2, they were ass, but
mm-hmm. The first one's really like something. It's very, very scary. When you're talking about Mortuary Assistant, to me, I feel like Mortuary Assistant is probably one of the best games that I've played for many reasons, like besides its replayability. And it's not like it's replayability, like you can replay it forever and ever, but I think what gets me more and what makes me come back to it is the randomized scares. And I don't feel like enough horror developers do randomized scares. So I can tell you, Mortuary Assistant, that Mannequin Hustler Storage demo did it. And I'm trying to think of other games that do randomized scares, but there's not many of them. And I feel like that's what is so scary, is the not knowing what's happening. You can go, and I was so disappointed with Don't Scream, because I thought it was supposed to be these randomized scares, and they're somewhat randomized, but that you're getting that same scare when you go on the plane. You're getting that same scare when you open the door to the bathroom. It was advertised as that. and it wasn't that. And I was so disappointed because I'm just like, oh yeah, let's do like no scream challenge. This is gonna be fun. And the only scream I got was a moose coming towards me.
Moose.
Exactly. I was like, moose. I was like, God damn it! That's the only one. Do you feel like a mortuary assistant? That's kind of like what it is for you too. And how do you feel about randomized scares in games? Should there be more of that? Like, there's just none. I feel like I don't know if it's hard to do, but like that's what's scary.
I'm like, oh my God, I turned myself off. I think I fixed it. Well, I'm not going to touch anything.
My hands, see my hands, see my hands.
Just gonna stay like this. So yeah, I totally agree. I didn't even play Don't Scream. I had no desire to play it. I was like, yes, I'm going to get it. Like, because there's some games if I don't, and I never expect keys. I never expect people to send me keys ever. If they do, I'm so grateful. They get a big long thank you letter from me. It's a whole, it's truly, it's a gift and it's an honor. And I didn't get one from them. And I was like, I'm going to play it. It seems interesting. Like I'm going to, we're going to play this. And then the feedback started rolling in. I was literally, it was in my cart. I'm like, I am going to buy it when I go home. And I was like, oh, that's really underwhelming. Oh, that blows. Because I was looking forward to it. Because I was like, that's a really cool premise. Working off the mic, triggering these events if you're too loud. I know oh my God. I'm like, so excited. Names are escaping me today, so don't mind me.
See how I'm talking all fast? That's because I'm excited and like bubbly and like this. Like, let's talk horror with all horror fans. I'm like, I love it.
Dread Passage. There it is. So Dread Passage, when he did Hotel Room Haunt, I thought that was done very well because it was randomized, also working off the mic, also working off of, key triggering events. There was like multiple things happening. But I think it's really important, and I think it can set games apart. And I think part of the randomizedness of these scares, especially from something like Mortuary Assistant, kind of sets it in its own category, and it makes it so it's truly a unique experience every single time, rather than if you play a game and then play it again, like, oh, I know the monster is going to come around the corner now. And it keeps the surprise, and it keeps you wanting to be like, yep, I'm gonna play this. We're gonna see if I cannot shit my pants today, or but definitely I think I need to see more of that. I do, as somebody who occasionally does horror content creation, because I've been so busy. I haven't done anything in like a month, but I think it's crucial. And I think more games like that need to be a thing.
I agree. Mortuary Assistant, there's one scare that like I'll never forget. It's so dumb, but it was so creepy. So the door was open to the embalming room, and I go to close it, and I'm not like looking at the screen, I'm looking at chat, and the door is not closing. And then I go and I look, and the mimic thing is right there, and it's like it's holding the door from me closing it. And I was like, what a good little thing, like just having the creature just not like tugging on the door with you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so smart. Like, this is such an easy concept of a game, packed with so much just little like fanfare, like like horror fanfare. Just little things like that are so good. And you mentioned Hotel Room Haunting. So I am a huge fan of that developer, Dread Passenger 2, and I loved Mannequin so much. I went in, I did like a no lighter round to make sure like I got all like the stuff. Like I loved it. We have some friends that like do voices in there. And when he came out with Hotel Room Haunting, I was really excited for it. I played it as soon as it came out. And I agree with you that it came out right after, or like 2 weeks, like very soon after Don't Scream, which I think he commented on, like, hey, I didn't know that this was gonna be a thing. I didn't know the timing sucked. I think that anyone would agree who played Don't Scream and Hotel Room Haunting that Hotel Room Haunting was way better, and the scares were better. My only gripe was that I was he was like, it's out, guys. And I'm like, cool, it's out. Itch.io, bought it, played it. But then he started coming out every week with like 2.0, 3.0, 4. Like updates on it. And I messaged him and I was like, do I have to pay for all the updates? And he was like, yeah. So I would have rather have, and I don't know behind the scenes how it works, I would have rather him put that demo out on Steam or something like that, where he can just do updates and you can just install the updates, rather than having for me to go and pay for each update. Because I played it right away because I was super excited for it and want to support that developer, but I'm not going to keep paying for, I fixed the bug in the bathroom or so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that game did it right. I thought that the randomized scares were great, and it makes sense because he did he was, Mannequin House Storage with all those awesome randomized scares.
That game's getting shit out of me.
I can't even describe to you the duty that came out of me. Like, it was
unspeakable. the things that left my soul from playing that game. And I hate mannequins as it is. I despise them. I've worked in retail for a lot of my like IRL jobs, so I've had to deal with mannequins. And I swear there were situations in stores where either the mannequin was possessed by some evil thing or I was just slowly going insane. One of the two.
Have you played Boomen before?
No, but everyone keeps telling me to play it, and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna get it, and then I forget.
So Boomin's great. They do have a level of map that you can get that's called, I think it's called Linear Spaces, and it's pretty much a mall. And one of the thing about Boomin is that like whatever monster is on your level is randomized. So you, me, and Max are robbers, and we are going to rob a house. We have a laundry list of things we need to collect, and we have a little generator bar on the bottom. And when the generator bar is up, the generator goes out, the lights go out, and the boomen come to fuck up your day. No. You have to go, and it's not hard. You have to just go turn the generator back on and flip the light. But the thing is that all of the boomen, all the monsters have different abilities. Like one can't see but has really good hearing. So if it's that one, you have to make sure you're quiet. So even a split second in the dark could be your demise. But it's really fun. It's easy. Like it's not long form, kind of like Phasmophobia Demonologist. Like it doesn't take that long to finish a level. Just get the stuff on your list and get the fuck out until the boomen come. Like until it's not English. But one of the maps is a mall, and one of the boomen is called Cynthia, and Cynthia is a mannequin. And when she's around, there's mannequins everywhere, and she moves between mannequins. So you just hear creak, 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 and you're like, "Where is it?"
I hate that.
It's spooky as hell. It's so good, and it's still in like early development, but it is one of the best games that I've played in a while.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to play this so I can meet this Cynthia and hopefully not shit myself.
You will shit yourself. A little bit will come out, but it'll be worth it.
Make sure we do it on Taco Tuesday. It'll be extra spicy that way.
Oh my god. If I'm ever having Mexican food, I have to plan out my next like 15 hours. Where am I gonna be?
Yep. Where's the facilities? Because shit's about to go down literally.
Literally. Be like, you hear that asshole? He's talking shit.
Oh my god.
Have you played the Resident Evil 8 DLC?
Yes. With Rose.
The mannequins in the second level can fuck off.
Royally. Yeah. They can fuck all the way off.
That section's really good, but goddamn.
Yeah.
it's so bad. Or like
anything with mannequins.
Or like the scene awful. In Little Nightmares 2 where you're in the hospital. That's I still have traumatic experiences from that scene.
No, you don't even know the half of it. nightmares on those mannequins from Little Nightmares 2, because I love the Little Nightmares franchise. I thought it was almost perfect, in my opinion, almost perfect. And that scene, I got stuck on it, and then I finally figured it out. I was like, yes. And I was almost to the door, and one of the fuckers got me, and I had to like do the whole thing over again. But I had nightmares that night about mannequins, and I was there, and I'm like, fuck, it was.
Yeah.
I have my gripes with the mannequins.
I have one of my like favorite clips of mine is from that scene, and it's like I think it's like from you get into the hospital and there's like a room, and at the end of the room the door has a bunch of boards on it, and I'm running through it and I keep like dying, and there's one time where I was just like, I'm just gonna be really chaotic. And I just turn my flashlight on, and I just start spinning around in a circle as I'm running through the room, and that worked so well. I was like in such disbelief that it did. I was so proud of myself.
Holy shit! I did it. I'm here for that, and I'm gonna go look for that clip after.
I'm gonna put it in the
That's my
description.
favorite clubs. You're like, ah! It worked!
You can hear me at the end be like, thank God. I did it.
The mannequins are just there like, ow, my migraines. My light-induced migraines.
Ow.
Ouch.
Do you think you'll play Little Nightmares 3 alone or with a partner when you first play?
Probably the first time around, I'd probably do by myself. Just because, just in case if I play with somebody that's like never played in the franchise before or like has never experienced a Little Nightmares game before, I'd want to be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do this, because I don't like people to feel, like, oh my god, I'm so bad at this game or this. Like, I'll try to teach if I can. But yeah, probably the first time by myself, and I'm so stoked. I can't wait for it to come out. I think, is it out yet? No, it's not.
No, it's coming out next year.
Coming soon.
Steam just says 2025.
Oh yeah. Oh, coming later.
Yeah.
But you know what is coming really soon? Zookosis.
It is.
Oh my
at the
god!
end of this month, in 15
Literally.
days. Literally.
I was just going through all of the games in my head. I'm like, no, that's not my one.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of was Zookosis. Like, I've been checking on it every day.
What do you think a zombie giraffe would sound like?
Oh my God,
you
I
should
don't
play the
even
Gravedigger and hear what Van has to say. That's all you hear. He's like, as like scuttles along the ground.
Oh,
Does the like
I scared
spider
myself
thing
so many times. Literally, myself scaring myself. I never forget the. Do you guys know who Jeff Dunham is? The guy with the puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what this meant.
Yeah. I love it. So he did it was like way early in his career. He did this joke with the cracked out Muppet, I forget his name, about giraffes. And like, have you ever heard a giraffe throwing up? That would suck.
Yeah.
Their necks are so long.
Yeah.
And he was just like just making the longest just upchuck sound. Just throw an extra filter on it. That's a demon giraffe.
Oh, there's because there's that scene in the trailer of Zookosis where the giraffe is throwing up, and it's really weird. Like they throw the thermo filter on it, and it looks even worse. It's just like because it's like leaning over, but like it doesn't look like anything should be coming out the way that it leans over. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like then like this like fucking hot liquid giggity mark comes out.
Ew. Hot viscous liquid.
I didn't know how else to describe it.
No, you did a great job.
We're proud of you.
It's red on the thermo camera.
What are you doing, Psychosis? So what are you doing? Like, do you battle? Do you do stealth? I was looking at I want to play because I love fucked up animals. But how do you play?
So it looks like you're a zookeeper who's trying to like feed all the animals, and so you gotta like what did I say?
Just you're a zookeeper trying to feed all the animals. It's really funny. I don't know.
That's what it is.
It just turns into like night at the museum.
Yeah.
Like, all the animals like, ah! They all just like
they just start screaming. Just like shooting liquid shits at you. Just, it's not me, it's the demons.
But yeah, there's the little gameplay trailer is you like making the food for the animals, and then you're giving it to them, and I think a parasite gets into the food, and that's what makes them like become.
Someone didn't practice food safety.
Yeah. It sucks because
Get your sword safe.
It sucks because the one like trailer with like where it shows the gameplay, it's all about like spiders and stuff, and I can't stand spiders. So I'm just like, all right, so I'm gonna play this,
you, Max.
but I need to like take my time with it because arachnophobia sucks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I did see there's like a zombie hippo though, and I love hippos.
Oh, baby
it's just so cute. Baby hippos are my favorite animal ever.
They're like a tiny little oiled up lumpy sausage with like. I just want to snuggle it.
You get me, Van.
They're walking purple yams.
You get me like no other person has gotten me before. They're just sleek, oil fatties.
Yes.
They're so cute.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Did you see the little baby hippo on TikTok?
I don't tick or talk, but I have seen baby hippos.
Yeah, there's this little baby hippo. Like it's like Instagram Shorts, TikTok, everything that's like short form content, literally taking over. It was like just born like 3 months ago or something like that, and it's just little fat, oiled up little just nugget. And it trots around, and I think it's a girl. Her little mouth is just open, and she's moving her head around. The most precious fucking thing ever. I would kill for that hippo.
God. And that hippo would kill you years later.
It's fine. At that point, I'd be like, just take me. I can die happy.
Yeah, just swing me back and forth a few times
quickly.
End it quickly. That's that one time I was I drank a little bit too much, and then I laid on the floor, and I got offended that my cats didn't come and try to eat me because I played dead. Like, this is the way I want out, though. I just want
you failed me.
I fed you one last time, my babies.
Let me nourish you.
Let me nourish you. I'm your mother.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my god, my cheeks hurt. Yeah, baby hippos. That game looks so cool. Mm-hmm. Like, so excited. What other horror games are you looking forward to coming up? Because there's some big ones coming up soon.
My brain is like, smoke's gonna start coming out of my ears just because there's so many.
Yeah,
there's so many, and like a lot of them I'm just like, oh my god, wish list, oh my god, wish list. And then like I'm not even getting a chance to like look at what it is because my poor wish list button is on fucking fire. So I can't. I'm like, like let me pull up. There was one that I saw. Let me pull up my thing because my memory is also absolute shit. I worked a 15-day stretch at work. I had like 55 hours average each week. Oh my god. I had 2 wine slushies yesterday, and I felt like I just drank a whole thing of tequila. I was like happier than a pig in shit.
Oh my.
It's great. It was a great time. Mr. Van had to put up with me.
You deserve it. You deserve a third slushie.
Thank you. I only got 2, and I got 2 for Mr. Van, but oh my god, fuck, this is long. Oh my god, I hate myself making this so long. There was just random ones because I'm seeing a lot in Fearzine too. Because in the staff Discord, they just chug out all of these game recommendations. One of them was like it was a game called Water Delivery that I saw. I think it's out or it's coming out like in the next couple days. And you're literally just a water delivery person and shit starts happening. And then there's one that wasn't quite a horror. It's called Sammy Jukes Twin Lakes. It's supposed to be like a Twin Peaks detective-y thing, and someone goes missing and like weird shit happens. The dev is super sweet. Super sweet. Oh my gosh, where was the other one? I don't know if you guys have seen it from Sakura Studios, The Ghost of Nikishima. Did you guys see that one at all? So it's the demo they said is coming out October. So like another month. The game's not going to be ready till next year, but there's going to be a nice chunky demo that's going to be coming. It's absolutely
thinking about the hippo, so so chunky, so oily,
so snuggly. That's coming out, and it looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. There's a whole storyline that's for it, and there's a whole separate storyline for the. Sorry, I'm like my pizza's like, hey, and I'm like, no, go back down. There's a whole separate storyline for that demo, so it definitely check that one out. I was one of the first people to show their launch trailer like a month and a half ago on stream, and I showed it twice. I was like goosebumps. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be great.
Oh my god, that's so exciting. Is spoopy game, or is it the detective one?
The Ghost of Nikishima is scare the shit off your pants scary. That's
I love that.
Yeah.
When I play horror games, I count how many times I scream. I have a counter above my head, and for the longest time, the record was 94 playing at dead of night. Now that's a lot of bonks. That's a lot of bonks. That game is incredible, and they are also right now making the second one. Really? So I follow the person who plays Jimmy. Yes. And so they're on Instagram. They're posting like, you know, a bunch of like shooting like film pics because they film it and then make it into a video game. So they're shooting it right now. So we're gonna have an At Dead of Night 2.
That is
amazing. In the near future. So I'm really excited. But that game, that's kind of detective-y.
Yeah.
It's like anyone who
fuck right off because it was amazing.
That game was so good. I thought that I was not going to be able to handle it because I suffer from motion sickness so bad. It's horrible. And that game is just Google Street View, the game. Yeah. You know, like you're kind of just like, yeah. You know, so like the first day I played it, I was like, but then I started taking like my demon voice. I started taking Dramamine before streaming so I can play this game, and it turned out to be absolutely amazing. But that 94 was the top contender, and then I never played Outlast before. So everyone was like, you gotta play Outlast. And I'm like, no, it's gonna fuck with my motion sickness. Outlast Trials comes out. I play Outlast Trials. I'm not sick. And I love the shit out of it. And I'm like, let's give Outlast a try. And I bought it when it was on sale for like $3 years ago. I just never played it. Mm-hmm. Smack myself 100 times for not playing that game sooner because it is incredible. It is genius. And for being so old, like what, 10, 11 years old at this point?
It's stunning.
I mean, like, I have goosebumps talking about it. I cannot even get over how scared I was. Like, and how much atmosphere and the soundtrack and just everything. The characters, the character who wants to turn you into his bride. I was like, and I remember streaming, and he was telling you, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you into my bride or whatever," and I'm like, "I'm not a girl." And I remember like Cornhush show from CEOs, he's just like, "Not yet." I'm just like, no, what's going on? So good. Beat it with 98 screams. So 98 screams for Outlast is the official top contender for that. But holy shit.
Yeah.
What a fucking game.
I can't. The thing that sticks in my head the most, and this is so trivial, but the Pee-Pee twins. Just the naked twins. And that anytime anybody ever says that, it's like a little vignette that plays in my mind just of them just running around. Just the Pee-Pee twins running around.
Stick swinging, yeah.
Flapping in the wind. I'm just like, oh my God, I need help.
That's terrifying. Like, just like a guy who's insane with his dick out trying to get you. I said that, have you seen the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie or have heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've seen trailers. I want to watch it. I'm going to have to watch it by myself because I don't think Mr. Van will, but no.
It's a 0 out of 10.
I love
it's
that.
Horrible, but it's something you have to see, right? Yeah. But what it disappoints me and what would have made, it's not a spoiler or anything, but what would have made the movie actually scary is if the Winnie the Pooh guy came out and chased, the people and still had just the red crop top with his fucking dick hanging out and a fucking weapon, a honey pot or a knife. I don't give a shit what, and he's just running crop top, fucking hammer swinging. That is the scariest thing in the entire world. They had somebody in their production team must have thought of that. Why isn't it right? That's just pure gold right there. That's what I wanted to see. Disappointment. So disappointed.
Well, did you see there is my sound's all jacked, don't mind me. Hold on. Okay, is that better? I think that's better. I don't know. There's a Winnie the Pooh horror game that's coming out called 100 Acre Wood.
There was a demo for it that I heard was awful.
There was a different Winnie the Pooh game that came out like last year. That was garbage.
Yeah.
I played like 30 seconds of it and I was like,
I don't think this one has a demo yet. I have to go back and look because I know I converse a lot with the dev for that game and the co-dev or whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, I'm waiting. Where is it? Gimme. I want now. They're like, oh, it's coming. It's coming. Coming soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
So that's not the same as the one that came out last year, Max? I thought that was 100 Acre Wood. Was that not?
It's called like Honey Time or something like that.
It was 50 Acre Wood. It's not as
half as good.
Half as good wood.
Oh my God, I'm here for it. I love it.
I don't know. I bought it was like $3 and it was the worst $3 I've ever spent in my life. And I was like, ugh, it's gross.
Ew.
Taken a game back, Van? Like, have you ever bought a game and you played it and you were like, this is terrible, and then have returned it?
So only once, and it was a playability thing. I couldn't. It ran like absolute flaming ass. Because I talk about my potato of a laptop all the time, and it's a literal potato that's ready to just sprout other potatoes. It's horrible. It's old as shit, but it works for what I need it to, which is like work things. If I'm doing stuff, if I'm reading scripts or recording stuff, it works for that. But everything else, absolutely no. But it was, I think, V Rising, and I want to say it was V Rising because I tried to play it. It got real laggy, and I brought it over to my husband. I was like, I think I broke it. He's like, no, it doesn't work for your computer. And I was like, okay. And I returned it. But there's been games that I've played that were absolute just shit bags. and I still kept it because I'm like, somebody really worked hard on this. I just don't have the heart to return it. And it was like $2, $3, something like that. And I would just keep it, never would touch it again. Maybe doing like a, I don't know, one day somebody can do like a bad game stream or something and just play all these horrible games. But I don't have the heart to. I've gotten into some heated Twitter exchanges with people, and normally I'm pretty mellow. There was one guy that like totally popped off. He has a YouTube channel, totally popped off because of something I said. It was like, if you can't afford the game, ask for a key, because allegedly, I don't know, it played it, beat it, and then returned it, because like beat it in under 2 hours. And I'm like, that's just not cool. Just ask for a key. Like the devs will 9 times out of 10, if they're like, oh, you do content, you're consistent, I'll give you a key, because they get keys. They can request as many as they want. And I'm just like, that was really shitty, because they even gave it like a good review and stuff, but still it returned it. And I'm like, that's shitty. That's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
I can't believe, and I've heard this so many times where, especially like with Amica games, where people will go, they'll buy an Amica game. Let's use the example of September 7th. So I can say that because September 7th was about 45 minutes long of gameplay. You can probably stretch that out to an hour and a half if you're streaming. And that game, I thought, was, for what it was, I thought it was really pretty. Gave me some good scares. It was $8 for 45 minutes, which I was like, that's a lot of money. Yeah. But I saw that people kept returning it because they were like, it's good. It's a good game. And I didn't return it. Like, I'm like, I don't have the heart to. Yeah. If it physically doesn't work on my computer, I will return it. But I already paid the money. What is it going to do if I take it back and I get, a couple bucks back? Like, I'd rather just support them, even though maybe I didn't find their game great. Right. But so many people return Amica games because they're short, and for the amount of gameplay and the amount of money that they charge, even though like $8 might not be a lot as far as games go, but it's a lot to some people, and especially for not much content and no replayability. Right. I find that kind of dick. I'm not like judging if that's like what anybody does and they returned an Amica game, but I've never met anybody who has said this game is bad. Like Amica games were like bad or like not well done, or I don't understand the kind of the culture of buying a game, playing it, and then returning it because it was so short. You enjoyed it. Yeah. You just said you enjoyed it. Like that comment you read. Right. Played it, beat it, loved it, returned it. Why? And I that must feel, as, I don't know if like, because you're in like the voice acting world and you're close with developers, I don't know if that's happened to somebody who you're close with and they've been like shattered, because I feel like if I made a game and that happened to me, I'd be so hurt. Like, why'd you return it, beat it, like, until you didn't like it?
Yeah, and I've been an advocate, I think, as long as I can remember for this. Like, I think if a game is under 2 hours, it should be final sale. And there should only be certain things that it could be returned for, aka like it does not work. It's non-playable. Like my computer won't run it. My other computer won't run it. It doesn't work on Stream Deck. Like things like that, absolutely. And I know like a lot of the devs that I know that have had returns or have had people give bad reviews, it doesn't so much crush them as I feel like it gives them a sense of just this existential dread. Just like, oh my God, I worked really hard on this. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I don't know if I should be upset. I don't know if I should take the feedback. A lot of the devs will take the feedback and they'll be like, yep, we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this and go from there. But like with Amica, and I've seen that, and I've reached out to them a couple times being like, hey, I'm really sorry, people are shit. Yeah. Like let me reshare. I am just a dimple on the butthole of Twitter, but like, if we can get people to, share it and stuff like that, maybe that will make up for all of the, you know, the returns and stuff like that. But it's just such a shitty thing to do, especially if people enjoyed it, if they liked it. And I think if it's cemented in stone that I left a review and I loved the game and I tried to return it, Steam should say no. But Steam's very customer focused. They're not so much focused on the devs, from what I've been told from other developers and, you know, other people in the gaming space. It's just so shitty.
So, like, especially Emika, I could almost, not that I'm saying I can understand it, but I could almost understand it better if it's like a developer who's like, I don't know, not good, or this is their first thing they're putting out, or you know, like if you want to return this, you're just like, this is not my jam, or like this is severely underwhelming, or you know, whatever. But Emika is like, nobody in the horror community doesn't know who Emika is. Everybody knows, and you know what you're getting out of them. So if you know that the new Emika game, you know, is coming out, and if don't play it, if you don't, you know what I mean, or be like, or ask your community to like donate to get it for you, or like do other but like I don't know, don't play it if you're gonna return it if you already know like what you're getting out of it. Okay, so I have, this just came to mind, and I really wanted to ask you this, because I've gotten different feedback on this. How do you feel about when developers use real life sounds or people talking in their games? For example, I didn't play this game because I thought I was going to get ridiculed. And then other friends of mine were like, play it. Who the fuck cares? And internally I'm like, I care. But there was that game, I think it was called Supernormal, that came out. And they used, I think, that they use like victims, like 911 calls, kind of. What do you think? Is that horrible to do? Like what? And what is he thinking? Is that really true that he or whoever does use that? Why would he do that?
So I don't know, and I don't know what would compel somebody to use. It was, to my knowledge, it was an SA situation, and it was a real 911 call from an SA situation. Max is nodding his head yes, so that's I'm like, I think I got it.
There's videos on this. I'll put them in the description of the YouTube video.
Yeah, and it gets me slightly heated because I was there for a lot of it, and I was there and I interacted with this developer. It's the same one that did what was it, Stray Souls, I believe. Stray Souls, and then Supernormal got rebranded to something else, and I remember seeing this and seeing all of I was getting harassed from people because I was retweeting. I didn't know. I had no idea. I was retweeting stuff. I was communicating with the developer. I was communicating with this person, and they're like, "Oh, these are all lies. It's a disgruntled ex-employee stalking me and my family." And Van, having the bleeding heart that I do, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, what can I do? Is there anything, you know, can I help you in any way? Can I, you know?" And it was just, nope, just don't believe it. Just keep reposting, keep doing this. And I'm like, okay, yep, you know, you got it. Let me know what you need. They were always in the communication between the dev and the publisher. They were always so sweet. They're like, oh yeah, no, it's been brought to our attention. We're handling it. It's okay. Please disregard, you know, don't pay attention. And then I find out I was lied flat to my fucking face the whole entire time. And I'm like, no wonder why people are sending me threats or saying this or saying I'm a shitty person or yelling at me in not chat and like DMs and stuff. And I was silent about it for a really long time. And then I think it was, oh my gosh, what was his name? Did a huge video on it. Huge. And like put it to rest. This is what happened. This is what the dev said. And there was a lot of like LGBTQ harassment, that he was like liking these anti-LGBTQ things and racist things and all of these things. And it all culminated, and then that came out that they used a real 911 call. And I guess this was his first game that he ever made, he used it in. And which, that's fine. Lesson learned. There was no apology for it, like no real apology for it. And then I come to find I was going to go message him again and be like, dude, you lied. Like, what the hell? Like, let's talk this out. Like, what were you thinking? And deleted the, it was either Stray Souls or the team that did it, deleted their Twitter. The dev originally deleted his Twitter. And I was like, so I didn't even get to say my piece to him from flat out being lied to my face. And then I did a whole, because it was when the whole thing blew up. The whole thing was blowing up. People were getting pissed. It got nasty. And I made a whole tweet about it. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I supported this person 1,000%. I was behind them. And it was like an 8-page long tweet. And it took me an hour because I was like crying when I wrote it, because I was so overwhelmed with all of this that came out. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Were you doing voice work for them?
No.
Is that why you were involved?
No, I just thought the premise of the original game looked cool. And I was like, oh, wow, this, I think it was beautiful. Like, I played the demo. The demo was beautiful. The voice acting was great in it. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, why would you do this? And I, said my piece on it. The guy that did the video on it reached out and was like, hey, that was really brave. You did, you did the right thing. Like, nobody is mad at you. You didn't know. Because when I saw that he was gathering information for this, I was going to come forward, but I didn't. And I was like really regretting that. But at the same time, it's never okay to do that. Like, if I ever worked with a dev and I found out that they did that, I would completely disown them and I would tell everybody about it. Like, moral of the story, essentially. Because it's unethical and it's immoral, and that's somebody's pain and somebody's trauma, and something that person is going to have to carry for their entire life. If that is broadcast on a game, heaven forbid it sold millions and millions of copies, it would be everywhere, and that person would never be able to escape that. So the whole thing really soured for me. And the second you said that I'm like, ooh, I know exactly what this is.
I know you had the face of like, oh, I know what she's gonna say, and I was in my head, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to disappoint.
Yeah. And it's never okay. Unless, for example, if that happened and someone's like, I want to tell your story via a video game, is this okay? That's completely different.
But the person who made that 911 call didn't have any consent.
Yeah.
To having their trauma be demonstrated on a video game. And when you were getting DMs, were these DMs saying that just specifically about the 911 call, or were they telling you anything else about like tweets or any other, bad things that were happening?
It was everything. It was this, for the most part, it was the same form letter, what it looked like, because there was 5 or 6 of these emails, and it was like, hello, Stray Souls warning, blah 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 blah. And those were pretty neutral. They were just like, hey, some shit's happening, just want to let you know about it. But in my head, I'm like, literally just talk to the person. They said this was a lie. They said that, this, that, and the third is happening. And it came from all these really weird emails. So I was just like, at this point, I think it's spam. But then the ones that were really hurtful were like these just random people they had no followers. I don't know if it was a bot. I don't know if somebody was just making it just to bitch at somebody, which fine. I mean, if they felt better, great. Absolutely fine. The one was just like, you're a stupid idiot. If you're, they're believing what they're saying, like, you should go kill yourself. Like, if you're going to stand for this, that this is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So there was a time I just didn't even read. I would see it come through and I would delete half of them. I think there was like 30 or 40 in the span of 2 months total. So it wasn't like it was happening every second of every day. By no means. It was 30 to 40 messages total over the course of like a month and a half before it all came to a head and just exploded. And then the dev disappeared, the game disappeared. The game, I think, has negative ratings.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, the whole supernormal thing happened where he rebranded, tried to say it wasn't him, but then it really was him, which I get. If you want a fresh start, I understand that. And I understand, like, look, I fucked up. I want to start over. I think if it was more or less that, it would have been more well reciprocated. And I'm sure it might have been a great game. I don't know. I never played it.
No one wants to take accountability for what they did wrong. I mean, if he were just to be like, and this is for like anybody, just to be like, hey, I recognize what I did wrong. Right? We're all growing. We're not the same people we are 10 years ago, you know? So if you just be like, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm like a fresh start. I'm really excited to put out this game. If you all, you know, want to play it, A, B, and C, like, that's cool. Like, even like you were saying, which you did not, by all means, need to put out an apology, but you felt that it was necessary to explain, like, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry for, unbeknownst to me, I had no idea that this guy was, you know, A, B, and C. You got lied to, you know, you trusted somebody, and he broke your trust. And that, I'm sure, hurt so much on top of the DMs you're getting. And then you still went out of your way to tell people in the community, like, hey, listen, like, I did support this guy because I trusted him and he broke my trust. And I'm so sorry to everybody. Like, that's, like, I have goosebumps. Like, that's such a big deal. Like, that's such a, like a great thing. And there's so many developers and, like, that make mistakes, and just people in the world, like in social media, just make mistakes, and then they just own up to it and then move on. It's cool. It's like a friendship. Like, I hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry. You know, fist bump. Let's go grab a pizza.
Right.
Like, but that game looked so cool, and I remember. And I am not an internet person. Like, I do streaming, podcasts, and Max. Besides from that, I'm usually offline. So I am very much last to learn about all this stuff. So when I saw Supernormal, I'm like, this looks really neat. I'm like, this looks cool. I wishlisted it. And then everyone started coming out with, you know, what you told me. And I still saw, and this is not a judgment. Anybody, play whatever games you like. But I saw, you know, people playing it. And I went into one of my friend's streams, who's not in our horror community at all. I went to one of his streams, and he was like, you know, Allie, have you played this game? It's so creepy. And I was like, no, I haven't. And I kind of was just like, you know, have you read about it? And he's like, yeah, but you can't let that deter you from playing games. And I'm like, maybe it doesn't deter you from playing games, but that it definitely does for me. Even like, so dumb, but even like the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I wasn't planning on playing it, but I can't tell you how many friends that are close to me reached out and were like, it would really hurt my feelings if you played that game. Yeah. Which, like, you can't like make people, you know, not play games, but I'm absolutely a person that takes it into consideration, like how my friends feel about it, or, you know, like, I'm not gonna. Supernormal could be deemed the most scary game of all time. Not gonna play it because of what happened.
Yeah. So. And I did one tweet on it, and he blocked me. From that one tweet, I just said, like, no thanks, or something like that. It wasn't even anything bad. It could have been just my own personal opinion, like, hey, no thanks. And instantly blocked. And I'm like, okay, that literally tells me everything that I needed to know. Everything. Because I wasn't really going to pursue it anymore after that point. I was just going to drop it. I felt the gaming community was like, yep, we're good. We're good now. Like, it's, you know.
No harm, no foul.
Right. And he owned up to, he did, you know, say, hey, I made mistakes, this and this. There's a whole video on it. He did this big apology. There was donations. I think donations to like LGBTQ foundations, charities and stuff, which I was like, hey, good on you, great. But at the same time, I'm just like, still not gonna, it's not for me. After this, it's not for me. So now
he lied to you, like, straight up. Like, that's such a You could put out that apology and like not lie.
Yeah.
Like, but that's so disrespectful.
Right. And I was not expecting an apology for it. Even if it was just, hey, look, shit happened. I didn't know what to do. I spiraled, because people panic. They do. People panic when there's confrontation. People panic when they realize what they've done and they don't quite know how to fix it. Because I'm a fixer. I'm like, let me fix this, let me help. And there was no fixing it. And there was no, really, in my opinion, no coming back from it. And again, I'm right there with you, Allie. Like, if you want to play a game, go for it. If that game brings you joy, or if you were really looking forward to that, whatever happened aside, separating like the art from the artist kind of thing, go for it. Me, not my cup of tea.
Exactly. Oh my god, I had a question of mine.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh my god.
I tried to have notes, so I didn't go on tangents.
No. This is besides from Scary for Her Pleasure, the alternate name is just tangents, because that's all that we just do. It's just us talking and like just tangents, but tangents are great. So you said that he's done. Do you feel as though his career is over as a game developer? Do you think he could come back from this?
I do, actually.
You do? Okay.
Because I feel anybody can come back from anything. It's just a matter of recognizing what you've done. Which, if that happens, great. Good on that person. Good on them.
Do you believe his apology? Or do you just think he got caught and that's why he's putting out an apology?
I don't quite know how to feel on that. Just given I was so close to the fire, essentially. I was one of many. There was many people that were impacted. Like, it wasn't just me. There was anywhere from 10 to 100, essentially, creators that were impacted in some capacity from this. And if it happens, if he comes back, if he's like, yep, I'm here, let's party, I'd be like, great, good on you. Still not going to play her stuff, but good on you. I'm happy for your success. Because even if I'm not saying that this person was a shitty person, because the only thing I've ever experienced from them was just kindness, even though it was lies.
It's like worse. You know what I mean? That's because you just. I'd rather you be mean and lie and be shitty than be like a nice person and I like get close to you or develop a friendship and trust. Yeah. And then, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it was one of those things I really learned from it. And I kind of, unless I already know of or have interacted, I'm usually pretty careful now. Even if it's new devs coming in, like, hey, I made this game, can you play it? I'm like, sure. And then I put my detective hat on, and then I'm like, and then I'll skim through their Twitter, I'll skim through past games, I'll skim through all of their social media, like looking for these red flags. And I know, like, X, Twitter, whatever, it's always going to be Twitter to me.
Me too.
Doesn't show likes anymore, but you can see retweets, you can see these certain things, and I'm like, okay, let me do my due diligence to make sure I protect myself, and protect myself from this ever happening again. And, then I'm like, okay, yep, we're good. This is safe. They have a couple games out, or they're a new game dev, or this, that, and the third, and they're good. So then I'll be like, yep, I'll play your game for you, or I'll take a look at it, or I'll play test it, whatever the occasion called for.
Tell you, I never thought about that. I never thought about like a new game coming out, it looks cool, and a developing company I've never heard of. Let me go and just like kind of check their Twitter, do like a little deep dive on them to see if they're okay. I'm gonna start doing that now because I just never thought about it, and that's a really smart idea. I love that.
It's all public stuff, so it's not like I'm hacking into anything. I'm literally looking at what is in front of me when I type in this person's handle, public information. So I'm just like, I'd rather protect my peace and protect myself. And I hold no ill will towards anybody. Like, I really don't. I probably should. That stresses me out. If I hold grudges on people, I get stressed. I don't like being stressed. I'm stressed enough as it is. So,
no.
you know, as long as there's a learning moment from it. But yeah.
I get stressed when people don't like me. I'm just like, I don't even hold grudges. I just like forgive. I'm like, can we just move past this? Like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm just like, but I can't know that you're mad at me because it's going to eat me away inside.
Literally.
I had last year, I watched a YouTube video of all of the spooky games coming out in 2024. And so far, almost all of them, I feel like, have come out. And the one that I was looking forward to the most was Still Wakes the Deep. I have really bad thalassophobia. I'm scared of the ocean. I'm scared of sharks. I cannot handle it. And that game looked like it was something that was going to trigger me in the way I wanted to be triggered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love making spooky content as much as I love to play. You know, I love playing like decision making games like Life is Strange, Detroit Become Human, like those kind of like emotional games because I love crying. I know that's a weird thing to say, but like if I can like, yeah, it's my release, and I love getting like you know, getting to know the characters, and then I feel like they're my friends at the end of the day. But truly, I look for games that will actually like indict fear on me, because like jump scares or whatever, I'll scream, but am I really scared? So when I saw the trailer for Still Wakes the Deep, I was like, I'm gonna shit myself. So I played that, and so far it's probably my favorite game of the year. Have you played that? And what horror game are you looking forward to? Like I think I asked this before, but like, were you like last year, like you knew like a big game was coming out? Like I know Max is super excited for Resident Evil. I always think about Resident Evil and you, Max. Silent Hill. Like of the big horror games coming out, like that was Still Wakes the Deep was mine. So you said that you haven't played it.
No, I have not. I've seen it. I've seen people play it. I had, you know, I saw the ending.
Okay.
I was watching. It was another CEO, because when I'm at work and there's nothing to do, I'll put my earbud in and I'll turn a stream on and just kind of like, you know, keeps me company, because it's my locations, you know, my store that I'm in is not super busy, so I'm just like, let me clean stuff and listen to this. So, it was gorgeous from what I saw, and I caught the very tail end of it, and I just went, because I didn't even know what happened, but it just, the words towards the end just struck me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is really sad, or oh my God, this is really beautiful. Like, I don't know which way to look at it. But it's rave reviews, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I hope to get to play it one day. But I need Mr. Van's computer for that one, because probably mine would implode and turn into a black hole if I tried to play it on my laptop.
It is graphically demanding, 100%. The game didn't like scare me, like make me scared, but it did make me feel like a whole bunch of emotions. Like you kind of were saying, like at the end, you're just like, well, you just like don't know what happens. It's like you're the main character, and you know, playing the game, you're just so hopeful. You're like, you're doing all this stuff to help you and to help your shipmates, and you want a good ending. You want to survive. You want to get out of there. It's just this hope that you hold on to is, I think it's the most like powerful emotion of that game. Yes, if you are like me and you have thalassophobia, or you just you don't like the water, it's going to be terrifying in a different way of like, I can't imagine being in this predicament. But the hope that you have for this character, and the fact that it's so well voice acted, it's just great. It's beautiful. And then you have like that big whole. Okay, this is Goosebumps, the episode, because I literally I love talking about this shit. It's just it just worked so well. It was great, and it wasn't a million years long. No. Like it was like 8 hours maybe,
which is
like
good. It's healthy. That's a good length. Not too long. If you need to break it up into like 2 to 3 streams, fine, or 2 to 3 game sessions. You know, anything longer than that, and be like, oh my gosh, please kill me now.
So we were like, I feel like our banter is supernatural. Is supernatural. That I like. I totally like. I started from the middle and now I'm going back to the beginning. But I want to know, like, did you start as a horror streamer? Like, when did you start on Twitch? And did you start as a horror streamer?
So I started on Twitch. Oh my God, give me a second. I want to say it was October of like 2020, somewhere in there. It was no, maybe 20. I'd have to go back and Instagram and look. I want to say 2020, 2021, because I did a post of like, hey, my first stream went great. And it was very super basic. And I'm still really basic with the streaming. I call myself like a low stimuli streamer. I don't have lights, I don't have things, I don't have, fun clips or shout outs or this. It's overstimulating to me doing that and seeing that go off. Like I have some sound alerts. It's mostly just the dicks sound and then some Always Sunny in Philadelphia things and like a fart noise. And that's pretty much it. And that's
just dicks.
Dicks. It's fine. Throwing dicks. It's good. But it to me, it's really overstimulating because I tried to do with the fun lights and the this and that, and I'm like, I don't think I can do it. It's too much. It's too overstimulating on my eyes and on my psyche. And those that can, I love it. I love watching it. I just can't be in it. And still focusing on my game, getting the shit scared out of my body, and then also talking to people at the same time. I'm actually looking it up right now because I want to get you an actual date here.
And also I just want to like put out there that like if anyone is starting to stream or is interested in starting to stream, I never want anyone to think that they need to be like anyone else to be successful. You do not need the flashing, the lights, the sound alerts, the glamour, the Tangia, the fucking everything. The fucking everything's cool. And if that's cool for you and that's like your vibe and you want to put in that work because that's the environment that you like, that you're bestowing this, let's say loud, very, chaotic community, like that's cool. But don't think in order to be successful on Twitch, you need to have anything. Right. You need to just be authentically yourself. We have friends who, Max and I have friends who don't have, like when we go into like Jamie's stream, she's a partner and she doesn't have, any big raid alerts or big, flashing lights or anything. She's a cozy streamer and she doesn't like loud noises. Yeah. She doesn't have any flash and she is herself and she is successful because she is herself. And that I truly believe is how you will grow and be in a wonderful community and grow your community and love your time on Twitch because you're loving being here. If you don't like the flash and you're constantly in 3-4 hours you're streaming and it's all flash, you're not enjoying yourself. And then you're going to be exhausted at the end. Be like, yeah, so absolutely. That's just my biggest thing. Just be yourself on Twitch, no matter if it's flashy, if it's not flashy, if it's whatever, be your fucking self. Because that's what's going to sell.
Absolutely. Be your own cup of tea, whatever works for you. Is October 14th, 2020. October 14th, 2020. And I started off, I played Path of Exile for my first stream because I didn't know what to play. And then there was another random game that I played. It was like a once over. And then I feel like since pretty much the beginning, I've been horror content because I did Alien Isolation.
Ooh, that like introduction horror is Alien Isolation. That's a scary game.
Yeah, it went big or went home. It was like, yep, we're gonna do this. Okay. Screamed my head off. I was always scared by the xenomorphs. I just thought they were really creepy looking and fast. And things that are big and fucking scary and fucking fast are like the trio of fuckery, and it's really
they like come at you and you're like, oh!
yeah. And my heart pounded. Like my heart was pounding out my butt playing that game. Like it was insane. And then after that, I was like, that was exhilarating. And then I just wanted to keep playing horror things. So then jumped into Little Nightmares and then Little Nightmares 2. And then I'd find these other games to play. And then I tried DBD for a hot minute, but I just like could not get behind it because people are ass. And then I was like, well, let me try this. And then did Phasmophobia. And then I was like, it was all essentially horror related. And I had to make the decision. I'm like, do I stay in this? Or do I do Stardew Valley and go back to Cozy and just
Chickens.
chickens,
Mayonnaise.
making fucking chickens and mayonnaise and milk and nut milk and just
you're up to
And
nut milk
milk.
now. Yeah, no.
and just seeing what would happen. I kept with the horror because I felt deep down inside I was a horror girly at heart, and I was a horror lover at heart, just because I loved being taken out of my element and put into somewhere where I am uncomfortable, but there is a deep story with deep lore, and I want to uncover every piece of that lore and find what it is, but also not die in the process.
You don't try to die in horror games.
Yeah, unsuccessfully, unfortunately.
I try to, if I'm playing like those like dark picture anthology games or any kind of game where it's like a decision making, I'll play to kill everybody. So like it's just like become like my persona because I like try to keep everyone safe, but for whatever reason, my soul doesn't let the game do what I want it to do.
You're listening to those intrusive thoughts, aren't you?
I truly
Somewhere to dump those. She has too many.
So I'll end up just getting characters killed, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just miss this next QTE and let's see what happens. I love playing. Do you play any like of those story games, like the story horror ones? Do you like those?
Like Until Dawn and
Yeah.
No, I have a Plague Tale, I think is what it's called. A Plague Tale.
Innocence? Requiem?
Something like, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Because it was free on Epic Store, and there was a point in my streaming journey where I was like, I'm gonna download every free game on the Epic Store. And then it was a lot, and then I forgot my password to Epic, and then that ended that. But
Nobody accounts for me. It's like you forgot your password, and then I redo it, and then I forget again. I'm like, you know what? If I'm forgetting it so often because I'm not using it, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, we're done now. We're just gonna let that where it lie. But no, I haven't physically played any of them. They're gorgeous, and I've seen people play them and love them. I feel like there's a little bit of like a cult following for like the dark pictures anthologies. I just will never forget. I think it was like Markiplier. I was watching him play Man of Medan, and it was just Man of Medan and the Markiplier thing, and that's all I ever heard. I was like, oh my god, Man of Medan. God damn it, that's the name now. So and I thought they were really cool, and I felt like that Dead of Night kind of had some of those elements to it too. When I played through it, I was like, "Ooh, it's kind of like a pick your story."
Yeah, but, the realism of the characters. Yeah, I call that Man of Megan. So every time I see someone playing, I'm like, "Oh, Man of Megan."
I'm here for it. I love
the first like dark picture game that I played was House of Ashes. I'll say House of Asses usually, because I was like, this is the worst game ever.
Yeah.
It was like the worst game ever, and then I played it with a friend because those Dark Pictures games, unlike all their other games that they've come out with, you could actually play with friends, like a friend pass. Like I control a character, you control a character, and Max controls a character, and it's
cool.
And it is the tits. All those Dark Picture games have that. Until Dawn does not. The Quarry does not, and the Casting of Frank Stone does not. So those are the three other super massive games that actually, does Until Dawn? Until Dawn might, but I haven't played it because it's not on PC yet. But doing it with friends, Giggity, is the best. Trust me, I did it at least 8 times. No, but it's so much fun playing with friends. I recommend that. Even do like a drinking game with it. Max and I and a couple of our friends for my birthday this year, we did a quarry drinking game.
Oh my god!
And by the time like chapter like 3 hit, Max was like,
"Oh, I was wasted. I was so done."
Yeah,
so funny.
Oh my god, I can't.
It's so funny because I'll ask people like horror streamers like, oh, like when did you first start streaming, and like what kind of like horror games did you play? And it is always either between 2020 and 2021, and it's Dead by Daylight or Little Nightmares. It is so funny because I didn't play games until I started streaming on Twitch, and the first game that I played besides from Dead by Daylight was Little Nightmares. There's a clip of me because I didn't understand like foreground and like in front of you, and I'm just dying, and I get so mad that I'm like, is the box made of air? And that's what Max has to look forward to in Little Nightmares 3.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, Max, I can't jump on this box. He's like, there's no box. I'm like, look at this box. He's like, that's a shadow. Like, God damn it.
I knew that. I knew that. I was testing you.
Let's go, Max. I'll lead. I'm just kidding. You go.
Oh my god. I love it. I'm here for it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, me and Ellie playing Little Nightmares 3 is going to be so chaotic.
You need to tell me when, because I'm going to be there, because I will need the chaos. And then I'll also yell too, there's a box!
There's a box!
Yeah.
In the team, there's a box!
You and Allie are both yelling at me like, there's a box! I'm like, no, there's not. What are you talking about?
Right there! Look with your eyes and your heart!
Look with your special eyes. My brand! Oh, God.
Oh, I fucking hate but fucking love that commercial.
That is just my brand. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so good. You know what commercial I love? It's not on anymore, but it was the commercial when we were all kids. When you and I were kids, we were on the same age. That it was like the anti-smoking weed commercial, and all the friends are like on the couch. Do you remember? Yeah. And the girl is deflated, and they're like, I don't know what her name was. Call her Allie. It's like, Allie, what's wrong? Shh, Allie can't hear you. Ever since she started smoking pot, all she does is lie there.
And then the thing, fucking Family Guy goes and does their own one, and I'm like, no.
Yes. No. Oh, that's my favorite commercial ever. I'll just send that in as my resume. Yeah. Pretty much the jobs.
Here's me. This is wow.
This describes me perfectly. What are your interests? Smoking pot and laying on the couch.
Oh my god, I love it. The other one with the egg, like this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs, and they just yeet the egg into the pan, and it just everywhere. And then they got like celebrities of the day to do it, and I'm like, oh, like this person's what? And then like coincidentally, the person that they got to do the anti-drug commercial was like big into drugs at the time, so it was mostly hypocritical, but you know,
right?
Got the point across.
That's why he was chucking the egg. He was just high. Yeah. He was looking for a snack. He had the munchie.
Right. Oh.
Who doesn't love eggs?
I love eggs.
Oh my god. How is your favorite? What's your favorite egg preparation?
So it depends on the level of hunger. So if I want so if I made a couple weeks ago a semi-authentic Japanese egg salad sandwich, because I wanted one, and I went and I got fucking Kewpie mayo, I got eggs, I couldn't find fucking milk bread, so I used brioche, which was a bad idea because brioche I got tasted like assholes and ruined the sandwich, but it was fine.
Holes? Like
Assholes?
plural?
Yes, yes. So I made it because I was starving for it. Like, you know, when you just get the hangries and you're like, I have the hungries. I this is what I want. This is what I'm envisioning. And I will only stop unless I have this thing. It was that. So I made that. It satisfied my hungries. I made way too much. So I had egg salad sandwich along with like egg salad farts for like a whole entire week. And I'm sure my husband hated me and that time. But then like if I'm just kind of hungry, I want a hard-boiled egg. Hard boiled has to be hard all the way through, giggity. And it needs to have salt, pepper, and sriracha on it. And just I will make it. I'll do the little fucking SpongeBob thing with the happy face on the yolk, and I'll put the salt and pepper on it, and then I will eat it and I will be so happy. But yeah, it's eggs I fucking love eggs.
Dude,
fucking love eggs.
I have an egg story. It's traumatic. But there was one day I had the hungries. And at the time, I lived on Long Island, and I lived in a basement apartment that did not have a kitchen. So I needed to do something. And I had a craving for soft boiled.
Here, let me help you. Soft boiled.
Thank you, Vance.
You're welcome.
I
speak New York.
I love that so much. I speak New York. Soft boiled eggs. And I needed them. And I've never made them before. So I don't know why I needed them, but I needed them.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a kitchen. What do? I YouTube how to make soft boiled eggs in a microwave.
Oh no.
I did what they said. I prepared it, I put it in, it exploded. It exploded all over. It exploded all over my carpet.
No bueno.
And it took an hour to clean.
Oh, sure.
And I didn't have my eggs. And at that point, I was just like, fuck eggs. Eggs
you should just went to the bodega and gotten the eggs. I'm sure they could have like.
It was so late at night. It was so late, and I was so high. I just needed eggs.
Yeah.
I just needed them. But here's a PSA: do not try soft-boiled eggs in the microwave. No. You'll be unsatisfied and pissed.
And probably burn yourself.
But eggs are the best. Eggs are the best food ever. Deviled eggs, I will eat all of them. I'll eat all of them, and I don't give a shit if I just shit myself for a week straight. It'll be worth eating all of those deviled eggs.
I would slap someone for really good deviled eggs.
Oh yeah.
And I like the part that sits in the egg extra fluffy. The yolky part. Extra fluffy.
Yes.
Like Kewpie mayo, like all other mayo is ruined now. I had Kewpie mayo. All other fucking mayo sucks, and I hate all the mayos. I will eat it, but I'm not going to be happy about it. But just, I want to make deviled eggs with Kewpie mayo and sriracha and make them spicy. And then put like a little jalapeno just on top, a little garnish. I don't care if I release fire from my asshole for a month after eating it. It's going to be worth it.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I love spicy food too.
Did you ever have the fire noodles? The bulldog?
I haven't. I think like the spiciest thing I do like the hot ones challenge often. Like I'll get all the new sauces and I'll do those. But I have not tried yet.
Oh my gosh! If I will fucking send you one. I will
make eye contact with you as I eat it.
Yes. Right here. Enjoy the pain. They are the spiciest thing, and I eat them for fun. I eat them because I like them. I used to do like Twitch challenges with it, and then I was like, okay, this is spicy as fuck, but I really like this, so I would just make it for lunch. I like mine with cheese. Mix some cheese in there, have it extra painful when it comes out. But it's so hot. They have a 5 times spicy one. People were like, I don't know how true it is, but people were like eating 3 or 4 of them, like mukbang style, and going to the hospital because they were like bleeding out of their assholes. Like that's how hot this stuff is.
Oh
So
my
only eat
God.
one if you ever have it. Only eat one. But it's like this sauce packet that they use, and it's just, I licked the sauce because I was like, ooh, you know when you're cooking and you get something on your finger, you just, and I was like, ow, and it hurt. It fucking hurt because it was just pure on that area. And then I felt like I was talking like that for like 20 minutes after it because I felt like
Stop it, Mom.
You're not my real dad. Like and I'm like, oh my God, I'm eating this. But then like you mix it and you put a little of like the pasta water in, and then you mix it up, and then you throw the cheese on it. And it was fine when it's like doctored up. But I can't eat them just without that, like even for me. And I ate, when I was doing for a Stack Up charity, I ate a jar of jalapenos, like just pickled jalapenos, and I just kept eating them as people were like donating. I'm like, I can eat an entire thing of fucking jalapenos, but this hurts. Like, oh my God. But they're the greatest thing. The carbonara one is my favorite because
carbonara, I want to try it because I love spicy.
Carbonara. The jjajangmyeon is my second favorite, and that's like it's like a spicy black bean. I actually have a bunch of them in my pantry right now because they started carrying them at my local grocery store. So I don't have to drive 45 minutes to go to the Asian grocery store, even though I'd rather go there and support them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, after a long day, if I'm having the hankering for some noodles, I'm just going to stop here because I literally live 3 minutes from a grocery store. So I'm just like, we go here. And chili crunch, I think is what it's called, is my new favorite thing. It's the best. I don't know if you guys have ever had it. No?
I've not. No.
Chili crunch. It's the weirdest texture, but it works. It's literally dried. If I had it, I would show you. It's down in my pantry. It's dried chilies and their seeds, and they're in this, like, it's infused in this oil, and you mix it up. They have different ones. They have like a really hot, there's a mild, there's a, you just put it on stuff. My stupid ass, when I got it, I'm like, ooh, I want to try the chili crisp this couple weeks ago. I took a giant fucking spoon and shoved it in my mouth after I mixed it up. And I was like not expecting it to actually be crunchy, but I was chewing it and it was crunchy. My stomach was not happy the next day.
Was it really hot?
It wasn't really hot. It was hot. Like I definitely felt the heat because there's like 18 different kinds of chilies in there. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. I eat it on fucking cucumber salad now.
Ooh, that's probably delicious on cucumber salad.
I ate cucumber salad and I had it on. I made the carbonara, the bulldog carbonara. I made that, hucked some of that shit on there. I was like, I hate myself today. Right on there. And it was like, I was like, oh my God, this was heaven. But then like 2 hours later, I'm like, I hate everything. Everyone can die. This hurts. But it was fine. But no, you have to try them. They're so good.
I definitely will. Oh my God, it sounds so good. The carbonara one.
Oh, it's amazing.
You mentioned Stack Up charity. So you are a part of the CEOs of Screams. Yes. When did you start with CEOs of Screams? Were you first, second, or third round?
I think I was the first wave.
When Tubin put out kind of like that, like, hey, I'm starting a horror stream team. Yeah. That was a really exciting moment because I previously have put in like applications for stream teams without being like really knowing what a stream team was. Right. So I would always get denied, which is like fine. And it's like my fault for not researching like what this team is about. It could be about farmers and I'm not a farmer and I get denied, like whatever. But when he was like, I'm putting out what do you guys think about like a horror stream team that's based on charity, and then getting that like invite in your email to like join the stream team? I can't tell you, like those first few months being on the CEOs and like being like, oh, I got chosen for this team with everyone else who's like horror driven, like minded. What's the word? Like
Reinvigorated.
Yeah, like my just like I don't know, like sometimes, you know, when you're on Twitch, you know, for a while, you're just like, you get into this like slump of like, oh, I'm tired, or like, I don't want to do this, I need a break, I'm burnt out. Like everyone goes through it. And I feel like that took me out of like my first burnout of like, oh, I'm feeling this sort of way. Now I have like this chance to like interact with everyone, like all people who are like me and play the same games. And I absolutely love that. And what that did for me too, which is something I wanted to get into for a while, but I just didn't know how to. And I have a hard time putting myself out there a lot of times, is I really wanted to start doing charity streams. And again, like I didn't know how to, and then I get intimidated when things are hard, and I just didn't know where to start. So I felt like being on the CEOs of Screams and like us doing like our first, like we did like the St. Jude's charity last year. Like that was my first charity, and I had like a blast doing it, and then getting to do Stack Up. And after that, Coin, who is a member of a CEOs now, and they're an amazing individual. And currently, like we're just ending the Twitch non-Olympics for special effect charity. Were you into charity before you became a CEO, or did the CEOs kind of like give you like on like a foot in the door of here's some charity work, this is what we're doing as a team or individually? Were you into that beforehand, or did CEOs kind of give you a lead up?
Wasn't so much into it beforehand, kind of like you, Ali. I was like, oh, this would be cool to do. I don't think I'm big enough to do that, or I don't think I'm well known enough to do that, or I don't think I'm gonna have an impact on it. So there was a lot of hesitations that I had with it, even after joining CEOs. I was like, wow, I was like, wow, a lot of these people have, 1, 2, 3,000 followers. They have a good community. Like, I stream maybe 3 times a month at that point, if I'm lucky, because my IRL job and my IRL duties, I always say, and my mental health always take precedent over everything else that I do. And I have no problem like dropping it. Like I haven't streamed in a month. Felt so much longer than a month, but because I was like, I have too much going on. I can't. It's going to be low energy. I can't do it. So I just step away and then come back. But with the Stack Up was I think the first one that I did, I want to say. And Coin was great through the whole thing, and they kind of guided me and helped me. I was like, I'm new. I don't know how much I'm going to help you, but I'll help, And I think we did $250, something like that.
That's amazing.
270, which for my first go around, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Because I never realized how much literally every little bit helps. Even if it's $10, that's $10 towards that cause. And when I learned about Stack Up, I had both of my grandfathers were in the service. One was in the Air Force and one was in the Merchant Marines. So I kind of heard their stories, saw them, through their life cycle up until unfortunately they passed away, as all grandparents do. And I'm like, if they had more help for things, maybe their life would have been easier. And that's part of the reason why I did Stack Up. And I was really excited because I think I hit the mark where you get a shirt, and it's like my favorite shirt now because it's
such the gray one.
Oh, yeah, it's such a good shirt. I was gonna wear it today, but I'm like, no. I did launch it. It's like I have the Mothman. I want Mothy with me, so my emotional support, Mothman.
I wore this for you.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Put that in your merch store. I will buy 5.
I should put that in my merch store.
Yeah. But no, and I got the shirt and I was like, this is so cool. And I wore it to the store the one day. I was out and about. I call it my hobo mode, where just the hair is just wild in a knot, and I have my Batman pants on and slippers. And I'm just like, chilling around in the grocery store grabbing these things, and there was I think he was a military member saw my shirt. He's like, whoa, thank you so much. And I didn't know what was happening, and I'm like, huh, I might get teary-eyed talking about it because I'm like, and I was like, huh, what? Like, I didn't know, because I go in go zone when I'm doing my errands. I'm just, I pay no mind for people around me. I just kind of do my thing. And he's like, yeah, your shirt. He's like, I saw your shirt, man. He's like, thanks so much for that. And he told me, he, like, when he got back, he was suicidal, and he wasn't quite sure how to make his way back into the world, I guess. And I think he said there was I don't know if it was Stack Up or a charity similar to Stack Up, but he's like, I'm alive today because of them. He's like, because when I got home, I was just ready to be done. And I said, no, thank you. I said, for all you did and all your sacrifice and all your service, I said, I'm here because of you. So I said, yeah.
So, and like, yeah, makes it all worth it. Like, I don't need to be told thank you or anything, but like hearing a story like that is just like,
yeah. And I'm like, I got in my car and I just like sobbed because I had to hold it in. I was like, I don't want to cry in front of this poor man, because that, weird to cry in the grocery store with a stranger, but I've done worse things, but it was just so like impactful for me. And I'm like, okay, there is good in this world. There is good that can be done. And then St. Jude happened, and my family every year, my parents will always make donations to St. Jude. Was always important to them. Just my mom always said, she's like, we were blessed with 2 healthy children. There's families that don't have that. And there's families that don't have the means to do that. And they would always see in the movie theater, when you go see movies, there's the St. Jude's commercials, or you buy the popcorn bucket, or you do this. And I have to say, I told them, I said, I feel like I cheated. But when my parents saw that I was doing St. Jude, they donated through my link. And she's like, we want, we were going to donate anyway. We want to donate through you, since you're doing this and you're helping with this. That's really, really admirable. And it's just something that I think is really important. St. Jude, Stack Up, all of the charities. And I know I kind of took a step back this charity season. There was just a lot of things that were happening. And I, experienced, like a death in my family, and then this, and then work was crazy. And I'm just like, okay, so we have to sacrifice some things. So unfortunately, like, if my head's not in it all the way, I can't, I don't feel justified to do that charity work, because my head and my heart have to work together to do it, to get, whatever we can get towards the cause. But if mentally I'm not there, I can't devote that time. I can't devote that energy to it, because it's not fair to them.
And unfortunately, like, let's say that you're raising money on stream. I'm not sure if you solely, do VTube, or you show your face, but even if you did or you didn't, people, because you're on your presence on the screen, they can tell. You know what I mean? You could tell when someone's having a bad day. You can tell when someone's not really into it. Like, I cannot lie, and when I'm playing a game that I'm not into, I'll play it, I'll be like, I don't really like this. I'm not really into this. And then I'll give it a little bit while, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. And if I'm not enjoying it, why would anyone watch me enjoy it?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, if you're not like 100% like into it for, like you were saying, you're raising money for like a month or so, if you're feeling like, listen, it's not the time and the place, it will be one day soon, but right now isn't, you got to make sure that you take care of yourself and your life and your mental health before you can be this kind of like this person that you are, but a little bit more kind of like, I'm going to say uppity, or a little bit more, you're trying to raise money, right? So you're selling it. You're selling why you should donate to the charity. You're explaining why it's important. You want to make sure that you are your full, good, clear self
Yeah.
when you do
Absolutely.
that. So totally get that. And it makes me so happy that because I was peeping on your links before and I saw that you had like St. Jude's 2024 and I saw Stack Up on yours and I'm like, oh, it's awesome because also charities that I raise money for. And it's really nice to hear that being on the team has, you know, helped in kind of like guiding, like, oh, here's what charities we're doing. If we're doing the group one, if we're doing a solo one, you could see, you know, in our charity, you know, little thing we have, like who's doing what. That's helped me a lot. And Coin, I think, has been the best for kind of like help, not even, I don't want to use the word recruiting, but reaching out and being like, this is what this charity is. If you want to be a part of it, anything you need, I'm here for you. She helped me with incentives. You know, I sent my like graphic to Coin and I was like, how does this look? And they were like, oh, maybe if you change this and this, it would probably pop more. You know, like really like into it. And I love that. And that makes me want to be a part of it. And then they'll send every few months like an email being like, hey, if you want to get involved again, reach out, or you know, here's what's going on at Stack Up. It is a fantastic charity. So
Absolutely.
That's really awesome that she raised money for them too as well.
Yeah. Yay. It was amazing. It really was amazing. And I think I wouldn't have done it without CEOs either, I think, because having like that community goal, just like at that time, someone like me, I only had maybe a few hundred followers at the time because I don't have the time as much as I would love to do a 10-hour, 12-hour, and 8-hour every day or have a consistent schedule. I know that's not feasible for me. But doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, we're all doing this together. I'm not alone doing this. So I didn't feel, I think I set a goal of 500, I think is what I wanted to raise like in total. And, you know, I think I hit to like 200, 270, and I didn't feel like a failure because I think if I would have done it by myself without, you know, a team behind me or with me, I would have been like, well, I'm not going to do that again because I completely failed. But it didn't feel that way. It felt a communal effort. Every dollar raised was appreciated, was respected, was, you know, whether you raised 10,000 by yourself or 10 by yourself, it was all celebrated together, which I think was really great.
I remember Coin told me, and it kind of resonated with me, and you mentioned it before. I remember I was raising money and they contacted me and they were like, how's it going? And I did say like, I'm like, oh, I think I had like a $500 goal as well. And I raised like $10 at the time. And I was like, it's going good. And I almost felt like, because there were so many people earning money for Stack Up and doing, let's just say, and listen, I don't care, a dollar is good. But I was less like compared to like some other people running for Stack Up, I'm like, they raised like $1,000, I raised $10. You know, and I'm like, oh, and I kind of, when I said, I'm like, oh, I've only raised like $10. And almost like, and I shouldn't feel like ashamed of it. Like, I am so grateful for that $10. But it was just like almost like my natural like feeling reaction to be like, oh, it's, you know, only this or whatever. But Coin was like, that's $10 that we didn't have before. Like, that's amazing, you know, and that's how you kind of have to think about it. And I have had a lot of friends who, you know, when we're doing these community CEO charities, they'll go and they'll look at other people and say like, I don't want to do St. Jude's this year because last year I only raised X amount while this person raised this amount. And that'll deter them from continuing to do charity. Do you feel, even though you said you're only, you know, you only stream like maybe like 3 times a month, do you ever feel like you compare yourself to like to other people, like teammates, or when it comes to things like that, like, oh, because you were mentioned before, like, I didn't think I could do it because I'm only on 3 days and other people, do you ever feel that comparison that you're doing with other streamers? I feel like it's a natural thing to do, but specifically when it comes to charity work.
I try not to, because I know, you know, each person is uniquely them. and they are their own entity and their own person, and there can't be another one of those people. And I try to hold myself to that same regard. Did I get sad if I was seeing people bring in 2, 3, 4,000? I'm like, oh, I wish I could be that cool to do that, like, it's
So
like,
I say, everyone's that cool.
yeah, I was like, that's fucking awesome, like, but I came to a point, I think it was like halfway through, because I think it was up for like a month or something like that is what I had signed up for. It was like a 30, 45 day kind of campaign. I almost forgot the word campaign. And I'm like, you know what? I said, yeah, I, based off the time that I had, and I kind of did a math equation to myself where I was like, had I been on, if I did this, maybe I could have raised this much or done this, or, was able to achieve this. But then I told myself, I'm like, that doesn't really matter. What matters is that I'm trying. What matters is that we're taking steps toward making a difference together. So my $200+ went into the pot. I think it was it 10,000 or something like that. It was some insane, crazy
It was over
number.
$10,000.
Yeah, it was some
Absolutely
crazy
amazing.
number. And I ended up saying to myself, I looked at that and I said, I was a part of that. And that's kind of where I told myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna, do this comparison, because that will drive me nuts if I do that. It will drive me absolutely insane if I'm constantly comparing myself to somebody. I like to, if I'm like, oh, I love Allie, this is what she does, I think that's a great idea, maybe I will try that, and try my own spin on that, or use verbiage or this, because I work in sales, so I sell things to people. And I'm like a jack of all trades. I'm like Barbie, I do like 80,000 things.
I love that.
Yeah. And I'm like, if I try to, do it this way or do it this way, but then ultimately I would tell myself, I'm like, you know what? I gave it my best damn try. And, even if I had all the followers in the world, that would have been great. Or if I had the congruent viewers that were, dedicated, were there all the time. I have a lot of new people. I have a lot of devs in my chat nowadays. And I'm just like, okay, cool. And, but just the mere fact of just doing it and completing it, it took a while for me to come to terms with that, to say that what I did made a difference. And I can't be hard on myself for not hitting whatever magical number that I set off in the universe for myself, because it made that difference. And it helped, because they would send, the stack up would send like, X dollars is this and X dollars is this. And I went to myself, I was like, yep, I raised enough. I was like, number one, I got a really cool fucking t-shirt. And number two, I was able to get X amount of care packages sent out. That's good enough for me,
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, that was, I think Stack Up is probably also my favorite charity that I've worked with. I also really love the charity that I'm working with right now, which is Special Effect. And I think why I love it so much is because it is how Johnny Beard from Nightbreed team set all of it up. So it's like CEOs of Screams versus Channel 13 versus Nightbreed versus Shogun. So it's all these Twitch communities, right? Going against each other in different games, like 10+ games for fake, golds, silver, and bronze medals. So like like I participate in Dead by Daylight, Among Us, and Jackbox games. And because we all kind of like for Dead by Daylight, it would be us 4 CEOs of Survivor, and then Team 13's is going to be the killer. Mm-hmm. So it was, they're like, hi guys, I'm blah, blah, blah. Getting to know different communities while raising money for, and beating out 2 goals already. Like, what it gave, not only are we raising money for charity, but now I just made some new friends.
Right.
And now I see how, I'm now in like a little bit of like their community, and we were making jokes like in Among Us, I kept dying first, and I'm like, because everyone's like from the UK, and I'm just like, the UK people, they're trying to kill the American. Like, it was just, you know, it was just like it was really fun. So this is definitely a charity that I love, and I hope that we get to participate in it again. And I'm also hoping that CEOs can kind of do a similar thing. So I also moderate the CEOs Discord and the Twitter, and we loved the idea of this kind of like Twitch Olympics thing with all the teams, that we thought that, and it was just kind of like a thought, but I'm hoping that it comes to fruition, that we can kind of do something similar for charity and have it, you know, be just the CEOs, but our teams will kind of like be randomized. So you might not be with somebody that you necessarily knew before, but like, you know, 2 hours, 15 minutes ago, I didn't really know you, Van. And I'm just like, in 2 seconds, I'm just like, this is my person. Like, you know, so like getting to like know people that maybe you're too shy to like, you know, introduce yourself to new people, or to be like, hey, can I join in on this, you know, Lethal Company, you know, collab? Like, now maybe we can get like a chance to like know each other better and like really come together as a team. I really love this team, and I'm excited to see like what we can do this year to be more collaborative with each other and just like spread the spoop. So I'm hoping that we can do that and have a charity involved with doing that. That would be fucking amazing. Yeah. You said like a lot of developers are in your chat. Because I'm not in the voice acting world, the developer world, when a developer comes in my chat, I shit myself.
Oh, same.
Like, oh, did he? Okay. Like,
absolutely.
Shit myself. I was playing when Lost Alone first came out. This is the biggest shit moment. So when Lost Alone first came out, I got raided by, it was one of our teammates, Karma, and Karma brought in the developer, which I didn't know it was the developer. So I'm playing this game. Good thing I didn't say anything shitty. Just like, and I'm just like, you know, oh, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And then this person would be like, have you tried, you know, I don't know, blowing out the candles? I'm like, oh, no, I didn't try that. And just kept going on with the game. And then every time I got stuck, this person would come up and be like, baby, there's something in the kitchen for you. And then I'm like, have you played? And I'm so dumb, man. I'm so dumb. I was like, have you played this game before? And they're just like, yep. And I beat it. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So stay here in case I need any help. And they stayed the whole time. And then like towards the end, they were like, this is my game. And I'm like, what? Like, this is my game. And I'm like, oh shit, there's a developer in the game watching me right now. Like, I don't know how to act. This is like exactly what I do. I just move my body like weird fucking thing. I don't know how to fucking react. But that developer, you know, made a couple other games after that. I love the Lost Alone games. And one of the games is like one of the most exciting things. I was watching my friend Kimsters, who's also a CEO, play The Telephone, which was their game after Lost Alone. And they put me as one of the cards in the game. And they were like, and I didn't know. So I'm watching her stream. And she's like, hold on a second. Like, picks up a thing. And I'm like, oh! I'm like, oh, that's me! Oh my god, I'm like, that's so fucking cool. But I shat myself.
Yeah.
No. I can't. Like, how do you handle it? Are you doing this too? Are you moving about and be like, ah?
Normally I have my PNG up, so like people can't really see me. I'm just shitting myself behind the picture. I'll never forget. I was playing. Oh my god, what was it? Because I've played a bunch of his games by now. It's Vidas Timur. Vidas. He's done a lot.
I love his games so much.
He's did oh my god, he did the one Smile Simulator. Had a bunch of creators.
Yeah, Dianakins is in that one.
Yeah, so there was me and Diana actually are on the same floor. We're in the basement together. So I'm like, yay, we're in the basement.
Me and Diana in the basement.
It's a fun time. But I will never forget. I was playing one of his games. I don't remember which one it was because there was he pumps them out fast. And I was playing. I was like, "Oh, this is really fun!" Giggity gig. Like I was playing through, and I had a bunch of some people kind of chilling in chat, just watching me play. And his name popped up, And I was like, oh, hi, Vitas, welcome. Me being a stupid idiot. And I'm like, I didn't make the recollection. Like I didn't connect the dots. And it was just literally like a ... in a bubble above my head. Cause I'm like, why are people freaking out? They're like, people are just losing their shit. Like, oh my God, I love your games. This and this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's great. This is a fun game. I was like, what games did you make? And he was like, oh, I made this one. And the last one you played. And then I'm going to send you some more. You can play those too. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So I'm mildly shitting myself in that instance just because I wasn't quite sure what was happening, because I was being chased by something, and then I'm seeing this go off, and I'm like trying not to freak out. And then it was really cool just having that. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then with like when I was in the process of being a part of We Are Not Alone, I would have, Andrew from Stasis Booth Games popping in my streams. And then it's been so many different ones. The team that did Kamla, the Indian horror game, all of them were just pop in. I was playing Tomb Raider or some stupid shit I was playing because I'm a diehard Tomb Raider fan. And to me, depending on how you look at it, Tomb Raider can be horror. So, loophole there for you.
Dinosaurs is terrifying. There's a reason Dino Crisis exists.
My God, I did this stupid trick. I was 10 years old when Tomb Raider came out. Quick tangent here. 10 years old when Tomb Raider came out. And I remember shitting my pants playing on the family computer going, ah! And my mom's like, what is happening? What are you doing? And she's like running downstairs. I'm like, and I'm like panicking, like moving all around at the computer, trying to like outrun this T-Rex that just chomps down on me. And just like whips me back and forth. But I was playing because they redid Tomb Raider and the trilogies, the first three plus all the DLCs. And I was playing it. I was like, I remember there's a secret spot, and if I go to this secret spot, the dinosaur can't get me, and I'm gonna kill him. And I did just that, and it was like very anticlimactic for me because there was no chase. And I was like, well, fuck, I ruined that for myself. Boo. But I was like, well, it's still there. They still have the spot. So that's fine. But yeah, no, I get honored whenever the devs come in, or if like another VA comes in. Because sometimes like if I'm playing Mortuary Assistant, Adam, who voices Mr. Delver, will sometimes pop into chat. And he's like, hey, buddy. I'm like, holy fuck. Like,
I lose my shit. I will lose my oh, you're funny now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like it's overwhelming, and I handle being overwhelmed fairly well. Because I try not to get starstruck, but I get starstruck very easy. And especially in my line of work, I was a makeup artist for 6 or 7 years, and I saw a bunch of different celebrities like just coming in, getting makeup. There was Sherry Zombie came in the one time.
Ooh.
Rob Zombie was playing a show. She came in. There was Mariah Carey's assistant. I met not Mariah Carey herself, but her assistant. She was looking for a particular thing. We didn't have said particular thing. She was nice. She was okay. There was, oh my God, there was like a bunch of like news people that came in that were like famous in our tiny local Appalachian area. And there was like it's like David Copper, one of David Copperfield's assistants. I don't know what to call it. The magical ladies. I don't know. There was a bunch over the time period. But I silently shit myself whenever this happens, just because to me it's an honor and a privilege whenever somebody takes the time out of their day that either made the game, was a part of the game, did something with the game to come to see you for whatever reason, whether it's, hey, you played our demo. That's how I met the Mad Mantra team, because they're like, they saw me and I reached out. I said, hey, your game looks really fucking cool. Like, good on you. I love what you're doing here. And they're like, yep, you're gonna get to play the demo. I'm like, oh yay. And then played the demo, scared the piss out of me, and then they're like, oh, the new game's going to be much worse. It's going to be much scarier. And I'm like, awesome. I'm thriving.
I like
love
to
that
hear.
for me. Yeah. So, and that, I think word of mouth travels quickly too. And I think they might, I don't know if this is what happens. They might be like, hey, there's this person and they're really cool and they're all about the indie space. Cause it's kind of like what I've morphed into at this point is just an advocate for all things indie, whether it's podcasts or audio dramas or indie vlogs. Just different things. And I always just have the hugest, stupidest smile on my face after a stream if a dev comes in. Cause I'm just like, that made my day. They know who I am. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It is. You feel like there's a celebrity each time, just like coming in. It's like what do I do? What do I act? I'm the same way. I cannot keep my cool. I'm also like, I'm starstruck. I can't keep my cool ever. I've mentioned before that Max and I, for my birthday, we did the Quarry together with a few other people. And the Quarry is like one of my favorite games of all time. And I was there's a DLC where all the campers are dressed in 80s clothing. So I cosplayed as one of the characters. I found like her exact shirt. And the one of the main characters of the game, it's Zach Tinker. He plays the voice of Jacob. He is a streamer too, and he raided me that day. And I shit. I was like, 'cause I know that his handle was like Atticus Maticus. Like I was like, oh my god. And his chat was just like, oh, he recognized the shirt. And I was just like, I can die happy now.
Day made.
Yeah. Max Antez, I was literally like shit my pants. I'm like, what?
We all got so happy. Like,
so happy. We're all drinking.
Yeah. We're all just vibing,
so
and then we all just look at the chat and it's just like
5 minutes prior we were calling this guy a watermelon fucker.
Yeah, we were calling
yeah.
You'll have to send Van all the times during that stream I called I called things watermelons.
And I think it's the first go ahead.
So you know Codename Power, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
oh my gosh, Allie, don't spit. Don't spit.
So me and Codename Power, we're kind of we have the running joke that we're like in love with each other. So he has a thing where he's like, I don't get scared, I have back problems, that kind of stuff. And during Allie's stream, so there's a scene where Jacob wants to put a hole in a watermelon and fuck it. And I compared me to Jacob and Power to a watermelon. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, yeah, I'm the reason why Power has back problems. And Allie lost it.
I lost it. And can I tell you why I lost it? Just to like change up your story just a tiny bit. It's because I'm Jacob and Power's the watermelon happened in like chapter 2, and then in chapter 5 you just start laughing and we're like, what's wrong, Max? And you're like, I'm the reason why Power has so many back problems.
It's because it took like 2 hours for me to like figure it out because someone had like said something and I was like, wait a minute, hold on, because I had like sobered up just a little bit enough to like figure out where I was and whatnot. Yeah. And then that
was so
and I was just like,
oh my god.
So now every time he sees Power, he's like, my watermelon. He just calls it my water. That makes me laugh so much.
Oh, I'm dead. I can't.
I was so
That's
drunk
hilarious.
that night.
He just says it so delicately. I was hammered.
And if anybody here would like me to send you the Quarry drinking game I have created, just send me a DM.
Can make Max talk about watermelons for hours.
You too could be Max's watermelon.
You too can also get years of back problems.
It's all medically scientific. It's not. It's Max.
Oh, oh,
Oh
we are
my
killing
God.
Max. He's coughing.
We have destroyed him.
Oh,
Underneath
boy.
my knees are so sweaty.
Same. I have
God,
yoga pants
goodness.
on, and they're way too tight, but it's
Oh my
fine, and
God.
we're here.
We're here. We're sweaty. I have to ask you, Van, unrelated to streaming, but what is your favorite horror movie? I know it's a very broad question, and if you can't answer, you can give a few. But I want to know: are you like an '80s horror fanatic like me, or are you are you loving the new like Blumhouse productions? Like, what kind of horror are you into, like movie wise?
I'm a pretty big movie buff, so it's really hard for me to kind of relegate to a specific like horror movie. I love Blumhouse. I love what they've been doing. There's one, I think it was by Blumhouse, and it's old, but has Jensen Ackles in it, and it's My Bloody
Jensen Ackles.
Valentine.
Is that Blumhouse?
I'm not sure. I
don't
could
think
probably
Bloody
Google it.
Valentine I don't think that one's Blumhouse, but that one is great.
Yes. I don't remember who made it, and Blumhouse is just in my head. But My Bloody Valentine I thought was great, and not just because it has Jensen Ackles in it. We're gonna, it helped. Okay, it helped. But I really liked it. I thought the kills were really good. I thought the effects, because I'm a big practical effects person. I fucking hate CGI. I hate it so much because it looks so
keep talking
fake.
dirty to me, girl. I feel the same exact way.
Yeah, and it's, to me, I would rather take just like the extra time for them to do practical effects than to just CG my head off. CG is good for some things, don't get me wrong, but you can tell, and no matter how far it comes, you're always going to be able to tell. But I really loved that one. I like the Alien movies from what I've seen. I know it's blasphema, but I haven't seen all of them. I've seen the first one, I think, like the original, the first one with the, oh my gosh, what did he say? Game over, man, game over. That one, I think that was, yeah.
No.
That. And then I saw some of the newer ones, like with the Rooney Mara ones. I thought they were pretty good. I think they hit the nail on the head. It's not a movie, it's a series, but it was the new Haunting of Hill House. Scared the tits off me. Oh my God. I thought it was beautiful. It was beautiful too. And I think for me, it's not just about the visuals. You have to have a good story in order to capture my attention. And I remember being scared by the original Haunting of Hill House, like in the early 90s. I saw it
like The Haunting with like Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Because
I remember the lions or something on the thing came to life, and then there was creepy cherubs on the bed.
The cherubs that were like, Eleanor.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Eleanor the Ledger. I'm like, ah!
Ew. Yeah.
I hated it.
But it was just the new one. It was brutal. It was in a gorgeous way, though. It was so fucking brutal. And I'm just like, oh, I was literally like, fuck no. Like at the end, I was in it. And then I feel like he did it again with the, oh my gosh.
Bly Manor?
No, I didn't see Bly Manor.
Midnight Mass.
Love Midnight Mass. It was the Edgar Allan Poe inspired one. Called The House of Usher. Yeah. And did it again with that. Again, gorgeous, beautifully done. Writing was great. Cinematography was great. Captured my attention. Like, I was like, I want to know more. What fucking happens? And then it was, yeah.
So we talk about like replayability with games, and then like the randomized scares, Mortuary Assistant, Mannequin Hustler Storage. the Haunting of Hill House series is one of those series where it's kind of like the replayability of a video game, because there's so much, because the story itself is so rich.
Yeah.
And the fact that you see it once and then you go, oh shit, I gotta rewatch that because of kind of like the time jumps, and now you can place everything, right? Instead of guessing what's going to happen, you go back and rewatch it. But also what the director did is he put in a whole bunch of like random ghosts in places that anytime you go back and rewatch The Haunting of Hill House, you spot a different ghost that you didn't see the last time. And that made that series stand out so much. Was the replayability, the rewatchability of that that show. Funny story about it. So you've watched Haunting of Hill House. My friend calls me up, who's getting married. She lives in Georgia, and she goes, "Have you seen Haunting of Hill House, the series on Netflix?" And I was like, "I have." And she goes, "That's where I'm getting married." She got married in the funeral. It's not a funeral parlor in real life, but she got married in the funeral parlor, like where they had the wedding, where they had Eleanor's funeral. And it was so weird going to the venue. It's like an old person venue. It smells like old people, like it's really old. It smells like old people. You know, old people flowers. Yeah. I know that's a weird, but are you smelling what I'm putting out? Yep. Yeah, okay. Just that's what it smelled like. Yeah. And where they had the casket is where they had like the dance floor. Oh my God. I was like, this is so cool. But yeah, it was the place. Really neat. Yeah. But that, I agree with you. That series is amazing. I like Bly Manor. I don't think it's as good as Hill House. And I think after that would be when I say the casting of Frank Stone, what did you call it? What was the House of Usher? Fall of the House of Usher.
Fall of the House of Usher,
yeah. The deaths.
Oh,
in that
brutal.
In that show.
Yeah.
Were so yes, someone just give it to me.
Yes.
A show or a movie can be complete shit. But if you give me good kills, I'm fucking in it. Nick Cage, he didn't need to talk at all in Willy's Wonderland. No. And he fucking didn't. No. He didn't. But all the kills are fucking cool. And that movie's great because of it.
I fucking love Willy's Wonderland.
Oh God, it's everything.
I hated it at first, but then I was like, he literally said nothing. And all this man wanted to do was play his fucking pinball machine and drink his soda. That's all he wanted.
That's pinball and soda.
And to clean his store. That's all he wanted.
He wanted to clean the store.
This man
genius.
Simple things. Yeah. Yeah. The other movie, I had to look it up and I don't know. I'm like a disgrace to my people at this point. 13 Ghosts. If I had to pick an actual movie, 13 Ghosts, I really enjoy, and I did like a deep dive into the lore because there was this like YouTube person that's like, we're gonna talk about all 13 ghosts, and I'm like, oh my God, yes. And it's not just
I was that person too.
Yeah. And it's not just because Matthew Lillard's in it, because I love Matthew Lillard. I love him so much.
Met him 2 years ago.
Oh my
literal God. Like nicest person you'll ever meet.
He probably smelled amazing.
He was great.
Yeah.
Even after being there for 12 hours signing autographs and not moving.
Yeah. I love this. But I love the 13 Ghosts, and I think it was done really, really well. I would have liked it, I think, more if they made it into a series, rather than one, like what movies back then were like 90 minutes, maybe 100 minutes. I think if they ever do bring it back, I hope, number one, he's in it. Because I loved him in Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know how you guys felt about the FNAF movie, but I thought
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, for what it was fun. It was fun. It was great. It set up, I think, what they needed to set up, kind of like switch some canon things around a little bit. But then again, that game series is a clusterfuck because everything is everywhere all at once, all the time. And it's just like, oh my God. but I if they ever do, I hope he comes back, because I really would love to see that, and just really diving in, seeing the backstories of these characters, how they died, how they were captured, how they got into the house essentially, and just it'd be great.
I want to see, because the main baddie, the uncle, he like orchestrated these kills. Like all 12 ghosts are him killing the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of, if it was it him killing and making these people, or was it orchestrated by something else and he just took their souls? Like,
and it's been a minute, because I saw it like when it came out, so like in the early 90s, and then I think in like the early like 2000s I just watched it again when I was at like school or something. But he like found their stories, I think, and like was like, okay, I'm gonna put them in my magical place. I forget what they call it, but the Black Zodiac, whatever you want to call it. And he would find their spirit, I guess, and just take it. Because I know, like, the one girl was killed by her boyfriend, and then the other one, like the mother and the son, the mother died somehow, and then the son went off and was killed. So I think he somehow managed to find their essence or their spirit, and then tie it into his glass casa,
his glass casa. Yeah, I'd live in that house. I'll be honest with you. I'd have to put some curtains on in the shower or something, but like I'm totally down with that. But imagine the director of Hill House doing a series on 13 Ghosts, doing episodes on their backstories. Like, oh my God. I think about that too. I'm like, if 13 Ghosts ever get I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. Because I mean, even if you don't like the story, those monsters, those ghosts are so cool.
Amazing.
Like, and it's always for like trivia. It's always my like bonus question is, can you name it's really 12, right? Because the dad is like the 13th. Can you name all 12 of the ghosts?
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, it's, and everyone knows at least one, because you've seen the movie. You love the ghosts. They're so cool looking.
Yeah, I know the one that sticks out for me the most, just because I think he was the most deranged, was like the Jackal.
Jackal. Yeah.
Jackal. Oh, his head's in the fucking box. Just
Oh, yes, that's a hammer with the thing. The Jackal, he had a head in the box.
Yeah. There was the Juggernaut, I think, was another one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling deep from the memory here.
So we have the princess, the prince, the dire mother, and the son, the Juggernaut, the something prince, right? The arrow in his head.
The
torso, the bound woman, the withered lover.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Jackal? I don't think you said.
I said Jackal. I think I said Jackal. Jackal. It's Jackal. Jackal. I said Juggernaut too. God damn it. Yeah. Anyways, losing all of them, but they're all great. If you haven't seen 13 Ghosts, also 13 Ghosts is a remake. Have you seen the original? Because it's hilarious. So both 13 Ghosts and My Bloody Valentine are remakes. I don't know if the selling point for you is Jensen Ackles, but the original My Bloody Valentine and the remake are literally the same. They did the whole Psycho Vince Vaughn thing when they made Psycho Vince Vaughn. Oh, Vince Vaughn, he's a 12 drink of water. I was very, very bibbity bop. It's literally shot by shot, like the same movie. So if you like the movie in general, I would go watch the original one just to see like how it kind of started. And the 13 Ghosts is a remake as well. And the original one is hilarious. There's literally like a floating mustache and a hat and a cape. Like it's so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Have you seen any of the originals, Max? I say like that, Max.
I've definitely seen the original My Bloody Valentine. I still need to watch the original 13 Ghosts. But I love black and white movies so much. My favorite horror movie is a black and white movie. It's Murders in the Rue Morgue from 1932.
Oh.
If that was a trivia question, I would get it.
Yeah. Well, you've heard me talk about it so much that like, if you didn't know, it'd probably be weird.
Yeah.
Vin, what do you think about Evil Dead?
The old ones or the new ones? Like the
Any not Evil Dead Rise. We'll just pretend that doesn't exist.
Okay. So I thought the original was fun. And I thought I think it's the one I'm thinking of, just the Evil Dead, the remake, because I know there was an Evil Dead where they were stuck in a apartment. Is that Rise?
That's Rise.
Okay. So I'm gonna get that one out of my brain. I didn't hate it. I only single hated it. I because I felt it was good in thought, and like some of the scenes were really good, like the bathtub scene. I thought she looked great, like makeup, SFX, great. It's just it lost me, and I felt like there was too many things happening for it to be like, oh, here's a magical record, I'm going to play it, and everyone's possessed. R.I.P. literally everybody. So like I'm just like, but the first remake of just the regular Evil Dead, the part that's poignant for me, and I think it's poignant for everybody, is when her head is like cockeyed, and you just see her hand coming out from like under the floorboard there. Just that was like, again, I remember it. Yes, and I remember it, and I'm like, that was really poignant. They hit the nail on the head with that one. And I think they kind of took out a lot of because I think the ones with Bruce Campbell, they had some comedy in there. There was no comedy in these ones. And I think it works in both aspects. Just like, it's kind of like your atypical, essential, horror. Whereas the original had that kind of campy flair to it. There was a teensy bit of camp, but it was mostly blood, guts, and gore, which is what I liked.
I thought so. I like to preface with I am like the biggest Evil Dead fan. I am obsessed. I got Bruce Campbell tattooed on my arm. Like, I love Evil Dead more than anything in the world. My favorite one is the original. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it gives me the warm fuzzies.
Yeah.
So Evil Dead Rise, I feel like as a horror movie, it's good. It's a good horror movie. I didn't like it as an Evil Dead movie. I enjoyed it the second time I watched it, knowing that I know what to expect. And I'm like, just don't think of it as like I'm excited for another Evil Dead movie. And people disagree with me, which is totally fine. I didn't get the warm fuzzies I usually do. The remake, the one you're talking about with like the that gave me some warm fuzzies. That had a lot of original Evil Dead stuff in it. The feeling that you get, that like the kind of campiness was there. Instead of the friends going to a cabin to hook up for the weekend, they're going to a cabin to help their friend get off drugs, which is more, I guess, modern. But it didn't feel like teenage, like like bad acting, and like this is made for teenagers. That's one of my biggest things with Blumhouse. I'm not shitting on Blumhouse. I think that he's a genius for what he does, just pumping out all of these low budgety horror movies that have no substance to them for the younger people, like 14 to 17 viewers who are just like on their phone watching like this. Megan. That's not my cup. That's personally, horror-wise, that's not really my cup of tea. I like story. I like a little bit of substance. Some of his movies are good, but most of them I don't really care for. And like, it didn't, like this Evil Dead, like, didn't feel like it still had that feeling of like camp and like references, and I really liked it. It didn't feel cheap at all. Whilst like Evil Dead Rise just kind of felt like it wasn't an Evil Dead movie. It felt like more of a horror movie, which is fine. They
should have just kept it take out the Evil Dead from it. Just call it like Rise or something like that. Make it its own
Rise.
entity. It's Rise.
Yeah.
Rise of what?
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out, you know. But I think it would have been better just as a standalone by itself. Take out Evil Dead from it. The premise was great. Find a curse record, you play it. Oops, everyone's dead, you know. But yeah, I 100% agree.
You haven't seen Ash versus Evil Dead, have you? The show? Yeah.
Yes, when it
Oh, you
came
did see-
out. It's been a minute, but yeah.
So there's like a fan theory, and I'm going to say this wrong. Mostly Carl told me about it, that, you know, in Evil Dead Rise, when there was that earthquake and then that made like the basement open, that's where the kids found the records. There's like a fan theory that that earthquake was in Ash versus Evil Dead when like Conda was released at like, it's like the second to last episode, and the Conda was released and there was that like big, like, you know, the earth was like shattering and whatever. Mm-hmm. They were saying that that happened at the same time because there's 3 different, now again, I don't know if this is true, there's 3 different books, like an Army of Darkness. Mm-hmm. An Army of Darkness, there was 3 books, and he's like, which one do I choose? Yeah. Those three books are like different Evil Dead worlds. So Conda in Ash versus Evil Dead, by getting risen, caused the kind of quake in the ground that made the apartment building's basement open up. So all that kind of shit. I'm like, all right, that's fun. Like, I like fun theories.
That makes sense, yeah.
Makes sense, yeah. But I liked Rise as a regular old horror movie, and not as an Evil Dead remake. And it was funny because I was with a whole bunch of my friends that like I met on Twitch, and they came with me to go see Evil Dead Rise, and it ended, and they were like, "So what'd you think?"
They just look over at you for
I'm
approval.
Sitting there all like red and disappointed.
She's gonna speak. She's gonna say something. Thoughts.
What's the verdict? I'm just like, there's no Bruce Campbell.
Everything sucks. I hate it.
Everything sucks. Exactly.
Yeah.
You said Jensen Ackles. Did you know that in the remake of Friday the 13th, the other Supernatural brother plays the main lead, Jared Padalecki?
I want to say yes. I've heard of that. I don't think because there is a point, like Mr. Van and I watched, I think it was Jason. It was the Jason ones. We watched like 2 or 3 of those, and I like live tweeted as the movie was going on, because this was like before I even had like maybe 10 followers on Twitter. And I was just, because I was so like, oh, I've never seen it before. Never, ever. I've seen all the Freddys because I stayed up late, and when they were on cable, I would watch them on cable. But never these other ones. But I remember hearing that he was in that, like in the remake.
I just remember like them, like the Supernatural brothers are like in like the two of like one of like the biggest like horror movie remakes. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was so fun. I loved them. I loved the Supernatural series when it was on. Mm-hmm. The last episode made me cry like a bitch. I cried so hard. My emotions were so high.
Aw, I think we got to season like 13, something like that.
Oh, you made it far.
Yeah. We made it pretty far. We didn't finish it yet. It's on the list to finish, but it'll get there.
There's like 95 seasons.
Yeah.
Like that's how it
feels. Yeah. I love it.
Fuck.
Yeah. I've never seen Supernatural. My parents give me shit for that all the time.
Aw.
They're just like, how can you not watch this movie? Or how can you not watch this series? I'm like, I have other things to do. I don't have time.
I have to adult people.
It's like the One Piece of like live action shows.
Don't even get me started on One Piece.
Yeah.
One Piece?
Yeah, it's an anime. It's got like 1,000 seasons. Like,
it's ridiculous.
It's still going.
Yeah. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, like the manga is like 1,000 chapters long, I believe.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
1,000 chapters? What does somebody do for 1,000 chapters if they're only in one piece?
It's a hell of a lot of filler. Like, yeah.
and side story and
Side story.
backstory.
It's like
and,
if
Can't do it.
Skyrim was an anime.
Oh my
And they
God.
only took the side quests for 1,000 chapters.
Is it like a main goal?
I mean, probably,
No,
but
One
like,
Piece. Yeah.
we don't even know what
To
the
get more
One
than
Piece
one
is. Like, they're just like,
We still
we're
don't know
looking
what
for
One
it.
Piece-
We're looking for it, and that's the plot.
200,000 chapters later, it's there. We just don't know where it is yet, but we're this close.
They're
How
in
do you
the
know when
area.
when I'll-
They're in the area
Yeah.
where the One Piece is. It's just that area is like an entire
Giant.
world's length. Like it like wraps around like an entire world or whatnot, and I'm just like, ugh,
Mm.
disgusting.
Ugh.
Gross.
Gross.
We don't know what the piece is.
There's just one of them, though.
There's just one of them.
There's, but is it like you'll know when you see it? And for 1,000
Well, they'll
chapters,
know
we
when they
still haven't
make it.
seen it?
Like
Yeah.
they haven't made it yet. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They haven't made
Close,
the
but
piece.
not
They,
there.
like they have, yeah. Like they're still looking for it. That's,
It's like
That's
Lord
great.
of the Rings, but there's no ring.
yeah.
I literally. Or they never find Mount Doom and they're just tromping around.
Yeah,
looking
they're
for
just
shit.
walking around it for 10,000 hours.
my
Like they never
Yeah.
like actually get to the top.
Yeah.
That
Oh
sounds
my
like hell.
Yeah.
That sounds like fucking hell.
It's fun for the first, like, maybe 20 to 30 episodes. But then afterwards, like, we didn't even finish it because we're just like, this is too much. Oh my God. And then we watched maybe like 4 or 5-ish seasons. And there was like, at the time, maybe 13 plus episodes in each season. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't have the attention span for that.
Yeah.
Tell you what I love. Death Note has 26 episodes. It is
Perfection.
one season. Each episode is like a little long, like 50 minutes or so. But after that 26 is done, the story's wrapped up. There's no anything else. It's just this is what it is,
Done.
and I fucking love that
Mhm.
so much.
What was your thoughts on the live action?
Let's not even talk about it. No, I thought it was Duty Kaka.
Yeah,
Ellie, you know what you should watch? Sorry, no, continue. I'll come back.
Okay. I'll talk quickly. The only saving grace for me was William Dafoe. That was it.
Yeah.
He was.
Perfection.
I was tricked.
Yeah.
I was tricked because the trailer, they knew that Willem Dafoe is the best thing about this movie.
Yes.
And the trailer showed Ryuk and William Dafoe playing him. And I'm like, fucking cool. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
Everything else
Ass.
wasn't into.
It was
It's
ass.
really it's just the anime itself is perfection.
Yeah.
It's like you just took perfection and you just shit all over it and smeared it in. Except for Ryuk. Ryuk can stay. Willem Dafoe
He's
can
cool.
stay.
Yeah.
He's cool. Yeah.
One really good Death Note piece of media is the Death Note musical. If you don't listen to, if you don't watch the like in between parts where they start singing, if you just listen to the songs themselves, they're great. It's so good. They're like I've never seen a better musical in my entire life. It's. So
Were you
good.
being facetious?
No, I'm serious.
Are you?
I'm like this musical is so good.
It slaps hard.
It's yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if you listen
I've never
to
even heard of it.
if you listen to I think the song is Kira. I think it's when Ryuk is singing about dropping the Death Note. That song, so good.
I gotta listen to it now. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I think Jeremy Jordan was light. I think, at least in the version that I saw, because I've seen snippets. I haven't seen the full thing. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Jeremy Jordan is. If you watch like the Hell of a Boss or the that series, he's Lucifer in the
Oh, nice.
Has Been
Gotcha.
Hotel. Yeah. Fantastic singer. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
he's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, I love that. I have to look at that later. That's awesome.
Yeah. I know Allie doesn't like musicals, but
I hate musicals.
if you just
I
listen
hate
to
them.
the songs
I can't.
themselves, it's a good
That's fine.
experience.
That's fine. I can't take like when we're watching a movie and then someone's like cooking in the kitchen and they're just like, hey, would you like pancakes? Would you like pancakes? Would you like pancakes? I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, I hate pancakes. Like, why you got to ruin his fucking pancakes with the song?
And then they're burnt by the end.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
Just
I'm over
burnt
that.
pieces of ass flap on your plate.
I love that. Van,
Yeah.
we are getting to that ending time.
Oh,
Where can
you're
everyone?
right. It flew.
Where it flies?
Holy
It flies,
shit.
and I feel like I don't know. I'm might be speaking for Max too, but just for speaking for myself, I really value the fact that we can have our friends on our podcast and have a conversation and not like an interview kind of format, because yeah, we'll say like, oh, maybe it's an interview, but it's more like we're having like a conversation and it's just flowing and we're just becoming more friends by the time the 3 hours is up, because we're just kind of like getting to know you and stuff. So it's been extremely natural talking to you. You've been an amazing guest, and I'm really looking forward to playing the games that you do voice acting for. And where can everyone find you on social media?
It pretty much Vandra O Games. It's all mostly I tried to keep it the same. It's mostly that. I have a link tree just to keep it easy. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. So you can definitely do the link tree. I think it's /Vandra O, and everything's there.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Van. Max, do you have anything to say to Van?
Thank you.
You're like, hi.
I'm just a big fan. I've just been nervous the entire time because I'm just a big fan.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous.
We're all friends here. It's fine.
Yes, all friends here.
You talked about starstruck being earlier, and I was like, that's me right now. Like, I'm just such a big fan of like everything that you do, and I'm really glad that we met. And just thank you for being my friend. You know.
I'm so glad that we met. Like, you're such an awesome person. Like, I'm so excited for a blossoming friendship.
I love this. I love this. DM me anytime, BBs. DM me anytime.
Who are we sharing the love to, Max?
That is a good question. I should have started doing that.
It's my fault.
Streamer,
I was
I promise.
distracting. But it was an honor, guys. Thank you so very much. I mean, I know Mr. Van's probably like running around downstairs, probably starving to death. So.
Thank you so much for taking your time, spending 3 hours with us. I know it's a lot of time. I seriously appreciate it. And it was really great getting to know you.
It was a blast. Like, oh my God, this was so much fun. I will totally be down to hop on again if I get a Saturday or a Sunday off. Just let me know. Like a couple weeks in advance. I'm here for you guys. All right, but I gotta hop off.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
I will, of course.
We appreciate you.
See you guys.
Have a great rest of your weekend.
Oh, you too, darling. Bye, guys.
Bye. Let's go to that
Sweet
screen.
bean.
Elvin is playing a game. She's been going for 4 hours though.
Amber Alert. Let's see. What else?
I didn't. Oh god. I hate that new knock feature. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, the knock. Yeah, I was like, hello.
I didn't mean to do that. Oh god, I'm texting Nana real quick.
Stand the
hold
knock
on.
feature.
I didn't mean to knock. I apologize. Okay. Yeah, let's raid Elvin. I haven't raided Elvin in a long time. Let's go do that.
Elvin.
Elvin is a lovely member of our stream team. That is the raid message. This is her link in chat for anyone who gets left behind. What are you doing this week, Allie, stream-wise?
This week, I am doing Monday and Thursday this week, and I'm going to do an asshole run of casting of Frank Stone. So we already played it regular, and now I'm going to be missing every QTE and making bad decisions.
Nice. This week I'm going to be doing streams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because I'm going to see Crimmy on Thursday. I will be live after Allie streams on Monday, and I don't know when I'll be live on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I will be playing A Plague Tale Innocence, which we were talking about earlier.
Nice.
Please tell me I copied that raid message. I did. Haha. I'm good at this, I promise. All right. We love you guys. We'll see you all later. Bye.